we are
And then, yeah.
live. Welcome to the RedBlue pod number 37. How are you guys, Cole and DC?
Pretty good. Yeah, I was sick last week, so yeah, hold it off, I guess, the stream. I can't tell if it was COVID or not because, like, yeah, I had all the symptoms of COVID, but then I got better again in, like, just 3 days only, so I don't know.
And you, DC, what's up with you?
I had a good day, but but the last couple of days, oh boy. Yesterday, because last time I was on the site, the stream call was a little more open. I said be a little bit more open about mine. I'm not gonna go too in details, but just know yesterday I reported some really bad people. Just know they're very creepy and weird. Um, yeah, and luckily today actually seems like they actually did do something, and yeah, thank God for that.
I see. So, today we got a lot of topics. We will start off with The Flash, Season 9, Episode 5, and then Episode 6, because we did miss a week due to Cole being sick. So, I think DC and I will have a lot to say there, but yeah, let's get into it. But just before we get into it, um, what guys are thinking about Victoria Alonso leaving Marvel? I'm wondering.
Hmm. I mean, I don't even never even heard of that news.
Yeah.
Probably because I don't really
I
care.
don't really care.
Never heard the news, and to be honest, I don't know what to really feel about it because. And I guess the close answer is never heard of the news, don't care. Basically, Cole just if I didn't know. Wow, that was a really hard way to explain it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they worked at Marvel, and, you know, with their track record lately, I'm sure she did a trash job, so.
And that's funny
Yeah.
because the anti-woke people, the so-called racists, that's funny because they think it's a victory. Um, that's just funny to think about that. When someone is losing their job, they think it as a victory. So this show that some people are just liking the grift, if we can call it that way, and it's a bit sad because they kind of benefit of someone losing their job. I'm not the biggest
Yeah.
Victoria Alonso fan, but it's still sad to think about it. Like they celebrate cancellation and stuff like that. Um, so anyway,
Yeah.
I think that's
Oh, yeah,
enough
also, by the
about.
way, I had one thing I wanted to show you,
Yeah,
multi-topic.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, so there was this one thing I was watching, and there was this moment here I wanted to show you, and I made a clip of it. You can watch it. You can share it on your stream if you want. You won't get copyrighted. Yeah, it was
Okay,
pretty funny.
let's share it. I will do this. I am curious to see what's up with that.
I've never been in this. Do they always give two awards out at the same time? That was weird. Why do they do that? Are we crunched for time? Get another hour. It can't be that expensive. You know how I know that? This show airs at 4 p.m. on the CW. I've never been in this. Do they always give two awards out at the same time?
Was I supposed to laugh like these people?
Oh, no, it was related to CW, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna share this.
Yeah, but uh, I'm really wondering if the guy tried to be funny.
Oh, he tried to be funny. It wasn't very funny.
It's
I just wanted to share it because it's relevant to CW. It was a CW joke, and after watching Gotham Knights, I'm definitely wanted to share that because after how trashy shows are and in the middle of the day, he's kind of speaking facts there.
I actually agree, but the fact that he tries so hard to be funny but he is not is very sad. It gives me some
Yeah, well, I mean, he's the person who made the Santa Inc. show, so what do you expect?
it gives me some vibes from She-Hulk, you know, when they tried really hard to be funny. And
Yep.
I left maybe twice in the entire show. I cannot
Like,
wait to roast that, man. That's like, it'll be like my favorite topic, I think. Even if we got great shows like Superman and Lois, roasting Gotham Knight will be amazing. Um, and that's funny because I've heard that it gets better, but sometimes when people say that, they just want to remain hopeful and they want to think it will be fixed. I don't see this ever getting better. Um, yeah, so that's the huge intro. I like that intro. I think that's one
Yeah.
of my favorite
Well,
intro
listen,
we had.
She-Hulk will be fixed, all right. You know, you just need to give it 5 seasons, or just getting started. Just like Tom Holland Spider-Man. You clearly need 3 films just to do an origin story. All right, it's definitely not the films being shit. All right, because obviously Tobey Maguire, needed 3 films to get his origin started, right?
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
We are being sarcastic here in case people didn't know. So let's do this. The Flash season 9 episode 5, also known as the last episode of the first graphic novel. Starting with DC, what did you thought of the ending of the Red Dead storyline?
Honestly, if I'm being brutally honest, after watching episode 5, I have to kind of say it's the worst graphic novel of all time. It was that bad.
Okay, that's a great opening. It's hard to say otherwise, you know. Enuko, what did you think of the ending of the first graphic novel?
Well, what I will say is this: in this episode, episode 5, I didn't mind the writing and the acting in this episode in comparisons to other episodes this season so far, and especially to part 1 of this thing. I didn't think it was as terrible, and I thought they gave him a bit more breathing room to not be as garbage with the acting. So yeah, so I'll give them some credit there. It wasn't as garbage this time around, in my opinion, at least with like cringe writing and stuff. Uh, yeah, and that's where my compliments end. This, just how just every choice they made was fucking. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's like you, if you paid me to try to come up with like the worst way to start out something like this and then end it, and also do like some big fight, and then also have like Gorilla Grodd in there, like it wouldn't, it still wouldn't be as bad as this. Like, this is impressive. Like, God, and that gorilla. Listen, I know you said you don't care about CGI before, but that Gorilla Grodd movement, God, it looked worse than those like cutscene animation things on Animal Planet or those Finding Bigfoot shows. Like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
what? Like, it made me wish like he got fucking chopped in half like in the Peacemaker show, because Jesus Christ.
That one very fast.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, I will say this. This was one of the worst episodes in the entire show for me. I'm not joking. I am doing the tier list of the episode, and this episode was so bad. It's very low. Like, it's like an E tier. It's almost F tier. And the only reason why it's not F tier is because most of F tier are like filler I can just skip because they're shit. And this one is like, it's bad. Like, it's almost rock bottom, but it's still the end of a storyline. And if you skip it, well, you miss the ending. But the storyline
Yeah, well,
itself is not
it was
that
pretty
great.
funny though. It was pretty funny, to laugh at.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's
Yeah.
this episode was so
Yeah,
bad.
like I don't know. Did you see that Mandalorian episode, episode 1 of season 3?
Actually, no. I did see a few episodes in the first season, but I never really finished season one. Maybe
Yeah,
eventually we will
well,
cover that.
yeah. Well, there's just like this sea monster thing that just like comes out of the water in the opening, like from just like 2 inches of water somehow magically.
Wow.
It comes out of that, and it's like just laughable. And yeah, that reminded me of this because they're both that bad. So yeah, there we go.
That's Disney writing, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we can dive deep into that really trash episode because, let's be honest, that graphic novel only had like bad episode. I personally only liked the first one so far. The rest are either average or like terrible. That's the range of what we got with this first graphic novel, and it's disappointing. I really want to defend the show because I like the first two seasons, and even if I'm not the biggest fan of season 3, 4, I think the show still adds something to offer at that point. It wasn't the best, wasn't the greatest show ever, but I enjoyed the show and I'm willing to defend it, but after seeing that, I'm like, how can I defend this? Ow! It's impossible! So, I guess we can start with DC. What were your issues with this episode since we are in the deeper
Oh,
discussion?
I have a lot of issues. Okay, for
Oh,
starter,
that's
yeah,
juicy.
Red Dev's motivations. Oh my god, I don't know what her motivations were. Like even now, I think about. I'm like, what were her motivations? Was
Her
it?
motivations is having screen time.
Nice
Oh, Cole.
response, Cole.
Yeah, well, Cole's not wrong. Yeah, and Red Dev's plan was atrocious. Like, how does Gorilla Grodd fit into her plan apart from the telepathy? Can't even speak today. Um, how does that help her plan in any way? Oh my god, I'm losing brain cells. Um, the crisis change is ridiculous. You're telling me Gorilla Grodd would not contact Barry during season 7 or even season 8, like earlier? Why now in season 9? Oh my god. The
And
the problem, the problem. I still have more issues. In the final battle, where was Ryan Walder from Earth Prime, the original Batwoman? Or like, where was she half the season if she quote unquote disappear? God, I don't know where she was.
she
Was she in?
vanished. Don't ask question. It's Eric Wallace.
Yeah, and you know what's sad? Uh, I think last week I was watching Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, a movie that's meant to be so bad it's funny. And you know what's sad?
What?
I actually understand the motivations and can feel more intensity than the last few seasons of The Flash. Like in this episode, I I don't even know Red Dev's motivations, but compared to when I watched Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, I was able to understand a human's motivations perfectly well. Kind of sad.
When bad movies does better than the Flash, I agree. It's very sad.
Yeah.
So what are your other issues? Because right now we focus on you, and then we move to Cole if he left out a few issues for the deeper discussion.
Mm. Another issue I guess I would have is hmm hmm
You don't have notes?
no, I'm just trying to think. I actually don't think I may have any more issues. So
That's still good
yeah,
enough, I think. That's still good
yeah,
element. If you think of other issues, don't hesitate to add
all
them.
right,
Um,
yeah, all right.
Cole,
Yep.
do you have any other issues you didn't mention yet?
Uh, Well, I mean, my issue is the entire episode. Basically, I said so. So because of that, I pretty much said all of them. But specifically, I don't know. But again, that final battle is just like, what the fuck was that? Like, I've seen parody battles that are better than that. Like, this is all right. Supergirl has better battles than
I
this. Like, all right,
agree.
what the hell is? Yeah, I really don't understand what they were thinking here, but yeah. Uh, I was gonna make an edgy joke, but I'm not going to on
Yeah,
your
do it, do it,
stream.
do it. We like edgy
No, no,
stuff.
no, no, because DC wouldn't get it anyway. I'll DM it to you after.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
want to piss anyone off.
okay. DM it on
Why?
the group, so maybe DC will understand it.
Yeah.
Um, so I got a lot of issues with this episode. That's not for nothing that I say it's one of the worst episodes the show ever had. Um, First issue, Reddit not killing Kramer for trying
Oh my god,
something.
I literally forgot about that. Thank you for
I,
reminding.
it's Reddit, bruh. She tried to
Yeah,
do
I
something and she still lives. I'm like, what the F is going on, Eric Wallace?
yeah.
Tell
Yeah, thank
me,
you for reminding me. Oh
Wallace.
my god. I literally can't believe I forgot about all that. But
If that
yeah,
would be Zoom, Zoom would have murdered her on the spot. And that's why I like so much Zoom. Like, Zoom was a threat, he was a killer. What do we get with Reddit? A joke.
yeah. Yeah, that's something I've hated about the Flash a lot is how the main villains don't even let people die, basically screwing up their chances of winning their encounters with the Flash. It's so repetitive.
Yeah. Bad dialogue. The dialogue is godly awful. Another issue. Chilblain still alive. Look, I will defend
Oh my,
Chilblain. I think he got better. In season 7, he was terrible. He was awful. I don't know why he was there. In season 8, I was like kind of liking the character at some extent. In season 9, I enjoyed him a lot, even if he gets some flack for what he does in the show, betraying people and flip flopping sides and the way he treats others. I still like Chilblain. But we talk about his betrayal toward Red Dead. It has no consequence. They try to explain it by saying he is a bait, he is just there so Flash goes after him to save him. If Red Dead was a good villain, she would have killed his butt for betrayal. It's just terrible villain. Like, what did she really do as a villain? She did nothing. It's disappointing. It's so sad. Um, Barry being stupid, everyone else is smarter. I feel like this week they really made Barry stupid so everyone else looks good. And I don't understand why. People are right and Barry is just, let's do it, even if it's a bad plan, even if it's stupid, let's do it. And the others are like the voice of reason. What's going on? What happened with Barry? Like, he is a smart guy, but sometimes, like, when he says, let's go get Chilblain, like he did, he feels like another character, a stupid, I don't know what. It's irritating, it's frustrating. It's like character assassination, and we had that in the third season of The Flash, and we have that again. I'm like, why? It's like Eric Wallace picks some aspect of every season, but he picks bad aspect and he smashed them into the story, and it's really sad. Um, Barry plot armor. I can't remember why I mentioned Barry plot armor. I just can't remember. The episode is a blur. It's so bad that I can't remember what I refer to. Bad dialogue again. Pacing was awful. So they could have trimmed down the episode a lot, but hey, it's Eric Wallace, so let's have bad pacing. Pet talk enough to convince Grodd on flipping side again. I was rolling my eyes. I was like, what am I watching? What am I watching? Um, Red Dead, awful dialogue. Awful line. Terrible dialogue. Jester Allegra, I don't give a shit about them. How did Keon knew Iris was pregnant? Plus wants her to know it. That's the response. Oh my, that episode was so rough. Before we move on to a few things we may have liked, I'm wondering if guys have other stuff to add and issues and stuff that went wrong with this episode.
Nah, I think you've listed all my issues because I literally forgot all that stuff happened. I literally forgot about the whole pep talk thing, and yeah, thank you for reminding me. But just know they're very big negatives at this point.
And you, Cole, anything else to add? Because now I will move on to the few likes I have, because I will admit, there are a few things I actually liked.
Yeah, no, I have really nothing else to say.
Okay. So, what I liked, I thought some dialogue and some time it was funny. Some scenes were funny. I will admit it. I can't remember exactly what because that episode is a blur, but I remember having a few laughs here and there. Fight Flash versus Red Dead. Look, it wasn't the best CG and stuff, but I enjoyed the fight because there was some action going on, and I'm like, this gives some vibes from the first 3 seasons where we had speedster fights, but that's cooler because Red Dead used like Batman tools and stuff like that. I enjoyed the looks of the fight. It was entertaining. Batwoman appearance. It's a bit disappointing that she has like 2 minutes of screen time, but I will get what I get. I do like that character and the actress. The show wasn't great, but she was trying her best, and here again, she was trying her best, and I like that. Fight choreography could have been worse, aka Gotham Knights. um, Joe, goodbye party. Because now it's clear for us viewer that Joe won't be around anymore. Chilblain and Barry scene where Barry basically tells him everyone does stupid stuff and you're still part of our family and our team and stuff. I think that was interesting, and moving forward, I really hope Chilblain will be part of Team Flash and bring something to the show more than just being there for the sake of it. Um, we had another funny thing by the end. I can't remember what. So that's it for me. That's what I liked in this episode. Is there anything you liked, DC, in this episode?
Hmm. I mean, I like the rogues, especially Goldface, Pied Piper, those guys. I like
Yeah.
some. I like that they brought back Gorilla Grodd, even though I do have a negative with that. I like I l- I like Barry's final fight with Red Death. Apart from those are the only positives I have.
Okay. And you, Cole, do you have any positive, neat things you liked about episode 5? Is it all negative? Cool. Are you there, Cole? Maybe he's talking and he doesn't realize he muted himself. Something this
Mm,
happened.
maybe.
Or maybe his neighbor are doing stupid stuff. Because his neighbor are stupid.
Yeah, or maybe his neighbors just are forcing him to watch the episode again. Oh man, that would be horrible for Cole.
Cole, are you there? Cole! I hope
I
he
think
doesn't have a internet shutdown because he had internet outage a few weeks ago. That was kind of sad. I hope that won't happen again. Um, so maybe we can move on with our grade and ask Cole if he'd like to add more. What would be your grade out of 10 for this fifth episode?
hmm, I'm contemplating a 3 or 4.
So 3 or 4. Maybe you can add like 3.5 because you don't know which one.
Yeah, I
You
guess
might do
three
that.
point five.
3.5. I actually gave this episode a 3 out of 10. Um, the only worst episode, as I said earlier, are the filler episodes that are so shit that you can skip them. This is like, for me, this is around like worst top 20-ish, maybe 30. Like, worst 20 episode of The Flash, like this one is part of it. This is how bad it was for me. Um, so the graphic novel, um, how much out of 10 you would give to the entire graphic novel?
Hmm. 1 out of 10, or probably actually a 2 out of 10.
Oh, Cole is back.
Nice.
Is there anything else you'd like to add and things you may have liked in the episode?
Well, again, I pretty much said them. While the episode itself and every decision they made in the screenplay and everything was garbage and confusing. Just the character dialogue and script itself, I didn't mind as much in this episode. I didn't find it as cringe or terrible as
But
in others. Just the conversations and stuff. I mean, the ones near the end were kind of cringe, but that's about it.
but the
But yeah,
question
it
was
was.
more like, is there any positives? Is there anything you actually liked or not
Oh,
really?
that is my positive. That is my positive. Yeah,
Okay.
and then they actually gave the actors some breathing room this time, so their performances weren't so bad. And then yeah, those are my positives. This is a solid 1.5 out of 10 episode.
Okay. We are not that far, guys. So you missed it because I don't know what happened to you, but you missed it. But DC gave 3.5 out of 10, and I gave it 3. So we are not that far away from each other, you know. We meet
Yeah.
here. Um, the entire graphic novel, DC gave it a 1 out of 10. What would be the grade you would give?
Uh, yeah, 1.5 still.
I think I would give the entire graphic novel actually a 3. Yeah, I think I will give it 3 because I enjoyed a lot the first episode, and I think it's unfair to say all like it's terrible. Well, it was terrible actually, but I feel like 3 out of 10 is well earned, you know. Um, so yeah, for me that's a 3 out of 10. The Flash. So now I timestamp this season 9, episode 5. So let's enter episode 6. This will be spicy, I think.
Yeah.
So I will let Cole start this time around because last time DC started. So now we talk
Oh,
about
episode
episode
6.
6. Yeah, the one last week.
Yeah, right. I don't have. Yeah, again, there are 3 topics mainly on this stream that I don't have the most to say. Not because I don't remember them or anything. I just don't. And yeah, for this one, I don't because I just don't really know what the. I don't have a great memory with this character in the other episodes anyway that the episode is kind of about. So I don't really know how to feel, and yeah, just different type of episode that I'm not very familiar with because of that. So Yeah, because it I don't know much to say, but yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it, but it wasn't as bad as episode 5. I don't know, there were some decent things, some bad things, some whatever things. I don't know, there were some interesting concepts, I guess. The writing went back to mostly being shit, though, with the dialogue. So, yeah, overall, not not great, but I mean, at least it's not episode 5, so.
So, DC, you are next. Overall thought on this episode.
You know, I have a really funny story this episode. So when I watched this episode, past the previously on the Flash, when it went to the Becky Sharp intro, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so bad." And then when it hit the title sequence, I was like, "Okay, I'm done with this episode." And that was only I only that's 2 minutes and 41 seconds. 2 minutes I could not. I wish I got back in my life. I just decided to quit this episode after 2 minutes.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, so it wasn't just because I don't know the concept or much about this character. It actually is just that bad and cringe. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, not to mention, I was a little uncomfortable watching these little romance stuff. And romance.
Okay, good to
Yeah,
know. Never
like
mind, it's
it's
bad.
not on my dislike, but it's not on my like either. Like
Yeah,
that's like something I didn't care about, and
yeah.
sometimes it's like that. There are things you just don't care about, you know.
Yeah,
But
and it's not like I'm one of those people who criticizes these shows for romance. In fact, I think romance is actually a pretty important part in the superhero genre. It's just when you have a personal situation, obviously it would be pretty uncomfortable to watch. But I'm not sure if I would put that in the negatives though. But then again, that intro was so bad and cringeworthy. I don't know what to say. It's like, oh my god.
so my overall thought, man, that was bad. At first I was like, okay, this is bad. And then the more I thought about this episode, the worse the episode became. I was like, it's better than 5, right? Yeah, it's better than 5, but it's still not really good. And it's funny because that episode could easily end up being in F tier for me, but just because it was better than episode 5, I thought that would be unfair to place it in F tier. So it's still like a really bad episode for me, and I did consider the idea of placing it like in F tier, like filler tier, like trash tier, you know, because that was bad. Um, so I guess now we can dive deep into the episode, the issues, and the likes and stuff. I think Cole already mentioned a few dislike. Is there any other dislike?
Yeah, I
you'd
kind of
like to add?
mentioned most of it pretty much overall that I have to say about it. Really, everything just, yeah, characters, writing, all that I don't like at
Yeah.
all. Yeah, again, I was just giving it the benefit of the doubt at first, saying, okay, I don't know really anything about this character or the context, so I'll say it isn't great, but that it isn't terrible. But yeah, now that I heard you guys talk, yeah, okay, it's safe to say, yeah, no, it was just really bad, and because yeah, I was painful to get through for me, but yeah, um, yeah, I'm still gonna give it a better rating than the than episode 5, but yeah. What else is there? Yeah, the music, fuck that. The sound effects, fuck that. The lighting, fuck that. Uh, the direction was I don't know what happened with the director there, but I mean, not that he's done a good job on the show as a whole, but
Was
directing there specifically was holy fuck.
was it directed by Eric Wallace? I'm wondering.
Oh, that makes sense.
Maybe that's the showrunner that directed it. I'm actually curious. I want to see who directed the episode. So right now I Google it. I want to see who directed season 9 episodes 6, right? 6.
Couldn't even make the interrogation stuff look good. Like, even in the worst stuff I've ever seen, like the fucking Bye Bye Man,
Oh,
those scenes in particular, they somehow make look alright, but even that, they didn't.
that's not Eric Holas. I'm surprised. That's Chad Lowe. That's the old man.
Jesus.
Okay. Um. So yeah, I'm. Look, this episode I really wanted to give it a fair shot, like any other episode of The Flash, but I feel like it's the kind of episode like that describes Eric Wallace in a nutshell. His run as showrunner. That's why I thought he directed this. But yeah, okay. I guess we can dive deep into issues. What would be your issues, DC?
Honestly, given that I just straight up quit after the intro, like 2 minutes into it, I don't know. I guess everything people have been saying, because I mean the fact that this episode focuses not only doesn't even focus on Barry half the time, that's pretty negative. Focus on Chester later. This is the final season of The Flash. We're gonna have an interlude. Like, really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I was wondering if I was still watching the. I'm not joking. I actually like. I had to exit out of my full screen and check if I like accidentally clicked on like if it like took me to another TV show that the CW did. I had to check if it was still on the Flash.
Wow. Wow. So here are my dislikes. They try hard to be funny when it's not. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. This is Eric Olas in a nutshell. Chester Allegra, I don't give a F. I'm so tired of their romance. They don't have chemistry. I don't like Allegra character. She is the worst thing the show ever had. I'd rather watch season 7 over and over again than watching more of Allegra stuff, you know. I really hate Allegra. I cannot stand her character. The dialogue is bad, no surprise. It's Eric Wallace, the showrunner, after all. Becky, suspect number 1, being allowed to the crime scene. She could just go on the crime scene. She could tamper freaking evidence. But no, it's the Flash. Let's be brain dead. Don't think too much about it.
Yeah.
Not funny. Filler episode. Here again, they try really hard to be funny when it's not. The dialogue is awful. Oh my. Now, I will admit there are a few things I liked. So I guess we can move on there since both of you did talk about your issues. Chilblain was amazing. Chilblain explaining to Keon what's wrong with their kiss was weird, but Chilblain, man, I like that character, so I guess I give it a pass. This time around, Cecile has somewhat of an interesting struggle since helping others come in the way of loving her daughter. Yeah, like, Allegra, I don't give a shit about Allegra, but I guess they gave her something to do there. I enjoyed the complete chaos at the end of the episode, and that's it. This episode was really bad. I guess, except if guys would like to add more, we can move on to the grade for this episode.
Not really, but I was looking through the guy's filmography. Yeah, he was in that film Entourage, so now it makes sense why he directed such a trash episode.
So, what would be your grade, Cole, out of 10?
I'll give it a 1.6. How about that?
1.6. Okay, that's accurate. That's a bit better than the previous one, you know. And you, DC, what would be the grade out of 10?
It seems like I'm the only one who would give out the lowest score, because I'm actually gonna give it a 0. It was that bad. Looks like a
Okay. You're right. You're the lowest.
yeah.
So at
Again,
first,
maybe if I knew about this character, then I would give it like a 0 because it was completely unbearable. But I'm just because of that, I don't feel it's right.
so at first, when the episode first ended, I was considering a 5.5 out of 10 because of my ranking system and my grading system. But then I thought more about the episode, and I'm like, I gave 5.5 out of 10 to much better episodes in the past. Is it really fair for the others? So I decided to knock off an entire point again because it was freaking filler. So the final score I gave would be a 4.5 out of 10. Uh, it's filler, and I already mentioned my issues. That's a really bad episode, and if I ever rewatch season 9, I don't think this will happen. It will really need a good back half, but if I ever rewatch this season, I will just skip it. Uh, this episode is pointless, it's not a good one, and it reflects very well Eric Wallace's run because he likes so much Cecile and Allegra. They're like the main character. Anyway, um, good news, I guess. Next week there's no Flash. They're on break, I believe.
Wait,
Um,
what?
yeah, I think next week they're on break. That's what I heard around. I think it's like a 2 week break, I think, or a 3 week break. I'm not quite sure. That's also why DC will need to watch Gotham Knight catch up, and next week we cover episode 2 and Superman and Lois episode 2 as well. So if you can catch up to both shows, that could be amazing.
All right.
So yeah, I think the Flash is on break. I really hope when it comes back we get a really good episode. So far with this season, I'm not satisfied. I don't think this season started off good. For me, I will speak for myself, and then I will let you speak about it. I only liked one episode out of these 6, and there's only one episode I will actually rewatch and enjoy it again, and that's the first episode this season. That's the only worth watching episode so far. So, what are your thoughts, guys, about these first 6 episodes, starting with DC?
Mm. Pretty underwhelming for the most part because the first 3 episodes because episode 1, 2, and 3 were actually really, really good. Episode 4 and 5 were not that great, and neither was episode 6. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but it's kind of underwhelming that this is the final season, and it's going out on a low note.
Yeah. Like, I look back to Arrow final season. There are issues for sure, but Arrow final season had some great moments, and the first 4-ish episodes were amazing. It started off going a bit downhill with episode 4 with the kids coming to prison day, but even there, it wasn't anywhere near as bad as this. Even with the worst part of season 8 of Arrow, it was much better than what we have right now. And it's a bit sad. Like, I was always liking Arrow more than the Flash, but it's still sad that the Flash, this is what we get now, because the Flash used to be as good as Arrow. I think they just went downhill fast. Anyway, Cole, any thought on the first 6 episodes of this final season?
Yeah, pretty bad so far. I've liked 1 episode.
Okay.
This is looking like a 2.5 out of 10 season, maybe a 3 so far.
Well deserved. So, man, thank you a lot for being with us, DC. Now I think we will move on to other topics, except if you'd like to add more to the Flash. As I said, like, if you can catch up to Gotham Knights and Superman and Lois, that could be amazing.
Yeah, I think I'll try and catch with Gotham Knights, and we'll see if Gotham Knights is a show that I actually would like. I really hope I enjoy it, so that way we can make the conversation more interesting, and I'll see if I can catch up with Superman and Lois, because it's like you've always said, It's interesting when you have other people who have, and most people would say, "Oh, s9-5-6 is one of the best shows ever." I'm like, it's not the best, but yeah, I'm really hoping I can catch up. But yeah, yeah. So
So
next week, yeah.
thank you here again. Thank you. It's always amazing having you. You are
Mhm.
a great regular among us. Man, take care of yourself, and we will see each other next week, I guess, with Gotham
All right,
Knights and Superman and Lois. Take care of yourself, man. Have a good one.
all right. Same. You too. Bye.
So, Cole, it's roast time. We start off with Gotham Knights. Do you want to start off with Gotham Knight?
Uh, I mean, no, I guess. Okay, well,
Or you want to start off with the movies?
uh, Gotham Knights. Okay, let's see. So first off, the shots in the opening alone already looked garbage and made me want to turn it off. It was hideous. Then yeah, the lines that bitch was saying was boring, and I did not care at all. Like, oh, boo-hoo. The music was dog shit. Character dialogue is unnatural and awkward. Not in like a good, like young character way. It's just shit. It was like written by a 5-year-old, I think, when it surprised me. Uh, so you're saying the way Batman dies is not only stupid, but I mean, even if he didn't die that way and he was just like, made to look, whatever. Everything leading up to it, though, either way, is stupid and is not how it would play out or how people would act. It's just once again unnatural and unrealistic. The lighting and cinematography sucks. The acting is abysmal and completely amateur. It's like it was. This is the type of acting I would expect. An execution I would expect from like TV movies that like 50 people have watched. Yeah, I really like the parts where they shoved almost every TV show and comic book movie cliche in existence all into this episode. That was really fun. Every joke they attempted was not only unfunny but lowered just the IQ of each scene. Like, not even joking with that. It like actually, it's like they did shit just to be funny, but then it's like it made the scene stupid and it wasn't even funny. So what the fuck? And once again made it unnatural how characters would act. Oh my god. Uh, I mean, how the fuck would anyone even see the small ass writing in the window from up there with the helicopter? And what made them call it? What made it show up that fast? Like they didn't wouldn't even have known yet that that shit happened. It just makes no sense. Yeah. Then the way when they looked down at Batman's dead body was the funniest shit ever. It was like somebody just came home drunk after like a night at like a gay strip club. It was great. The cops falling for that radio shit fucking killed me, and I know you probably hated that. That just was when I wanted to turn it off right there. The character didn't even put effort into make two different voices when he was doing that radio shit. Oh my god. Yeah, every scene with that bitch who I don't know is supposed to be like Joker's daughter or something. Whatever, that bitch looking like she's on acid. One of the criminals. It was annoying. She's not funny. She's not a good actress at all. She just looks like autistic, actually. And I don't mean that in a negative way to autistic people. I mean she actually just looks unintentionally autistic in every scene and not good, not funny, not good at all. She's like fucking Margaret Robbie as fucking in the fucking Suicide Squad films again and in Birds of Prey. Just like it, just like oh I'm so random, haha, girl, and it's like it's not good. It's not funny at all. It's just shit. It's easily gonna be my least favorite character in this show. I can already tell. It's already my least favorite in that episode. Anyway, yeah, every character in this entire show is already unlikable, and there's not one person I can connect with, nor do I feel bad for any of them. I do not even care about shit such as the one kid being an orphan and two and being adopted by Bruce Wayne. It's all irrelevant to me. They didn't make me care, and they haven't yet, and I doubt they will. Being like, oh, it's so similar because he's adopted too. Shut the fuck up, Jesus Christ. They made none of them interesting at all. The main kid actor, though, speaking of him, does the worst fucking impressions with this character I've ever seen. I understand what he's going for, obviously, and he's supposed to be kind of like trying to sound or seem badass, but just seeming nerdy or awkward. But so it's not that he's trying to be badass but fails at it, because that's kind of the point of the character. It's just he just does a shitty impression and job at it. It's just horrible. It's like fucking. It's like the kid actor from Artemis Fowl. That's how bad it is. Uh, where he reveals he died. With the police officers at the door. Yeah, that was done as well as the finale of She-Hulk. That was some amazing work there. Have you ever seen police officers do something like that when they're announcing somebody died at somebody's door, like
No.
that? Like that. That was horrible. That was some of the cringiest shit I've ever seen. But anyway, yeah, this and then I would keep going, but honestly, I'm just gonna stop there. This whole episode was a fucking shit show, and yeah, they pretty much said everything. Now you're probably, before I let you speak about this episode in lengths. Positives though, do I have any positives? Um, my positive is I expected this to be one of the worst shows ever created. And while it's so far looking like a 1 out of 10 garbage show from start to finish, it isn't as bad as Batwoman, so I'll give them that.
Oh, really? I thought Batwoman
Yeah.
was actually better, but that's just me.
Actually,
Maybe I wasn't as critical.
wait. Well, there's one decent thing about Batwoman, and that's some of the stunt work maybe that they wasted on that show. That's about it. But everything else I fucking hated in that. And yeah, I would say it's not as bad as that. So there's my one positive. Anyway, I pretty much said everything. So I'll let you talk about this episode now.
This is our new shield, I'm telling you. That's funny because one of my friends that is very critical to shows and movies, it was like I fell asleep while I was watching the first 10 minutes. I was like, oh really? So you didn't like it? And he was like, I think it's the worst thing I've seen. And I'm like, yeah, I can feel you. I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, I was getting sleepy after that police officer at the door scene, so that's why I kind of stopped there.
So, let's roast the crap out of it. The dialogue is bad. The music is bad. Character being dumb enough to play with guns. This is in the room. They are like, oh look, that's Chillblain gun. Let's place our fingerprint in it. Because we are smart kids. Them leaving the gun behind is laughable and unbelievable. Because the prints are all over the gun. Like, any smart people would be like, I will bring the gun with me, so this way I just don't leave it behind with my fingerprint in it. But hey, this is CW, this is Batwoman writer, because I'm not joking, these are the writer that worked on Batwoman. So she just
that makes sense.
she just left the gun behind.
Well, why does that not surprise me that these are the same writers?
The cops not being able to defend themselves versus kids is unbelievable. Okay, fight choreography. Now I need to roast the crap out of it. Look, Supergirl. Now, take me seriously even if I mention Supergirl. Supergirl had Alex Danvers, a woman, that is slim, not muscular. And she had a few fight scenes here and there. And when she wasn't wearing a specific suit and when she didn't have superpowers, she struggled against men. She wasn't flipping men around. She she actually lost a few fights and she got saved sometimes here and there. But Gotham Knights, all these very mannequin-like girls that are like 90 pounds can flip guys around the way they do? What the fuck? Um, do you know how hard this is to lift someone weight? Like it's not dead weight. It's really heavy. Lifting someone, flipping someone like that, it's heavy. So you're telling me these slim girls that don't have any muscle are able to like just overpower all these men? I'm like, what the fuck? Supergirl did it better. Yes, fight choreography was better in Supergirl. I said it. And another show that did it good, but this is no surprise. Jessica Jones. Remember Trish? She had martial art training and stuff. She still got overpowered by a cop in the first season. If Jessica Jones didn't show up, Trish would have died. Do you remember that? I do, because the fight choreography was smart. When we get into Gotham Knight, these girls are just turning all these cops into a joke because
It's Birds of Prey.
you're so far away. Can you repeat? You're too far away.
Oh, sorry. Oh, really? Oh. I think my mic on my headset might not be working. I think it might have been going through, like, on my PC. I guess that's why. Yeah, no, it's actually Birds of Prey fight choreography, if you remember that in that film.
I haven't seen Birds of Prey because I only heard bad stuff about it. But trust me, eventually we will get into DC movies. Now we are in DC shows. We will go to DC movies eventually.
Eventually.
So yeah, fight choreography is atrocious in this. It's unbelievable. I just don't believe what's going on. It's bad. It's really bad. Even Batwoman did that sometimes, where they made unbelievable fights, but they were nowhere near as bad because it was Batwoman and she had training, and at some extent you could believe it a bit more, but even there, like, sometimes it was ridiculous. She wasn't wearing the suit and she did weird stuff. But in this show, it's just ridiculous how bad the fight choreography was. I think I've never seen a show having so bad fight choreography. I'm not joking. That's the worst fight choreography we can have, because the core of your fight is unbelievable. Pacing was bad dialogue, so much exposition. It's like they feed you every gram of intel they want to feed you, because they cannot show anything. They need to tell everything. I felt nothing when they wanted me to be sad about Bruce being dead. The dialogue is bad. Where is Alfred? Don't know. They didn't get the right or what? That's my question in my notes. Dialogue is shit.
I doubt they did.
Harvey's conflict of interest in the case, but he's still in it. But yeah, pacing again. Teenager being able to escape the police custody was unbelievable. It was laughable. The kids being able to the kids being able to overpower adult didn't work out. Yeah. All convenient that everyone is on board to frame the kids. The guy just stood by Robin waiting to get it. Robin being able to take down many grown adults at once. Does she have super strength or something? Why does she cry at the end when she's telling the story of the Court of Owls? Yeah, she had tears when she was telling that story. I was like, I was rolling my eyes. I was like, is it funny? Should I laugh on how bad this is? And this is another Wakanda Forever scenario where I'm in the minus because of the issues. And I needed to be generous with my likes so I don't feel like someone that is not a genuine or honest. So what I liked is RV is likable. He's probably the only likable character in the bunch. The girl of the Joker is likable. I enjoyed her even if you didn't. Entertaining when there was action. Even if the action was trash, fight choreography is godly awful. I will say this, I was entertained. Even if it was really bad entertainment, I was entertained. So yeah, it's one of the worst premiere. Even She-Hulk had a first episode that went better than this. I remember. Um, it will be fun to tear apart. Gotham Knight is so bad. It's as bad as everyone thought it would be. Um, so I guess I don't have much more to say here. What would be your grade out of 10 with this first episode of Gotham Knight? Cole? Are you there, Cole? So I guess I will give my grade out of 10 because Cole seems to not be around. Gotham Knights. Okay, I will give to this first episode of Gotham Knights, I will give a 2 out of 10. And I'm being generous here. Because if I was really following my grid, it would be much worse. So, Cole, are you there?
This gets a 1 out of 10.
You give a 1?
Yeah, 1 out of 10. Easily.
Okay. So, any closing thoughts on that abomination of a series premiere?
I'm very excited to watch more of it.
To roast it, that's a good addition. I cannot wait to roast it even more.
Yeah.
It's like the kind of shows you're just like, oh yeah, I'm watching it to laugh at it because it's laughable how bad this is. So, because we suffered through The Flash and Gotham Knight, we deserve to speak about something that is actually still very good. Superman and Lois Season 3, Episode 1. Did you have time to watch it?
Yes, okay. Yeah, there's really only one other, yeah, out of the, episodes or shows, there's only one other thing that, like, yeah, again, it was just that one Flash episode, and then the Legends of Tomorrow thing is the only other thing I don't really have too much to say about it, and the only reason why is because my opinion on it is kind of the same as Season 1 and Season 2.
Okay.
Just, whether it's better, in my opinion, or not. But yeah, I have some things to say about Superman and Lois for sure. And yeah, after watching all that shit, I have a lot of positives about this. Now, this, I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode and the tone of it, in comparison to most of the episodes of this show so far. This wasn't the greatest episode and to start off season 3 for me, but after the utter dog shit I watched, it was solid. The execution of scenes in this episode were weaker than other episodes and other seasons, but it wasn't bad. It started to pick up the pace halfway through for me after a slow start. The scene with the crane was pretty good. I was kind of surprised though he didn't notice. He didn't immediately fly home with how quickly it should take him to do so. But Anyway, I do like the relationship so far though with his son, and also kind of interested with the one other girl as well, and his son. I could feel a bit more natural though, but I guess that's just a CW issue with old things here and there, though. Outside of a few shows like Stargirl,
Yeah.
yeah, usually on an issue in this show though, but was a little bit there. But yeah, the drive-in test scene made me laugh. That was nice, especially after feeling depressed from watching Gotham Knights prior. So that was nice. The editing at points in this episode was kind of weak, though. I will say the main big one was that cut when the villain he was fighting with the car door pushed him into the flames. In the flames, they cut to that scene of him walking out in slow motion and whatnot, way too fast, and it felt kind of awkward. The editing could have been a bit better in this episode, but yeah. The visual effects though, an improvement in this episode in the show. I'd say I didn't mind it. It was it kind of reminded me of like some Sam Raimi Spider-Man scenes in like the backgrounds of and with the characters fighting. Kind of reminded me of that. And yeah, that scene with them flying around and fighting there with him in the air off of buildings. That was nice. I really like that. Definitely a technical improvement. But yeah, overall, pretty solid episode. Have some issues here and there, but pretty solid. I like the character interactions and everything. Again, after watching The Flash and Gotham Knights do it, it was a big refresher. So yeah, what did you think?
That was amazing. I will say this. Did you notice that the actor for Jonathan changed?
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
What did you think of him? Do you feel like he can fill in the role? Did you thought
Yeah, I
um
feel like he can fill the role.
okay, that's the most interesting thing. I agree with you, and I was curious to see your take on that. So he feels like a good Jonathan replacement, you know. So yeah, that's a good recast. When it comes to recast, you did it right. Now I guess we can dive deeper into the episode. I only had one issue with the episode, and this is not that bad of an issue. It's just an issue like any others, and this issue is plot convenience of John and Clark meeting at the pharmacy. So it's kind of important because that's the way of the show telling. Oh yeah, John Henry Iron now knows that Clark suspects that Lois is pregnant, and it doesn't affect that much the bigger story, but it does affect it at some extent because that won't be a plot later on. You know, like they just bump into each other, and that's very plot convenience there. But here again, it's not the worst thing because it's more of a subplot plot convenience. It could be worse, you know. Um, so yeah, I guess I can move on to what I liked. I like the opening scene. Clark and Lois still have chemistry. They work well together on screen. Clark and Jordan training was amazing. We need more of that kind of scenes. They're always amazing. Clark is just trying his best to be a good father, and it's touching to see. Oh, sorry about that. Lois and Jonathan scene in the car was funny. I liked it a lot. John Henry still with General Lane scene where General Lane tried to recruit John Henry, and John Henry is like, no, I don't really want that. It's very interesting. Clark saving Jordan was good. Um, Clark and Lana scene. This is when they talked later on. I actually cannot really remember. I remember. Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, they were talking about Lois. Yeah. Lois investigation. hints at Lois maybe ending up being pregnant. Clark and Lois talk about potential pregnancy. The brothers scene uh, on the balcony when they were talking. I like that scene a lot. Clark and John pharmacy scene, even if it's in my dislike, I still enjoyed that scene a lot because it was funny. Even if it's a plot convenience, it was a funny scene. Lois and Lana scene in the bar. I feel like the friendship with characters is really good. Bruno teaching to Jonathan. I say Bruno Mannheim because that's the same actor as the villain at the end. So it's interesting that he ties into Jonathan's storyline already. And at that point, we don't really know it's Bruno, but I knew it because I recognized the actor. It's the actor that played a supporting villain in Arrow. So I recognized the actor. I was like, oh, that's Bruno Mannheim, one of the villains this season. John and General meeting. Oh, that's probably after General Lane basically told I forgot her name, Natalie. That's basically when he told Natalie he wanted to recruit her. Cal, I guess he's there, chilling. It was funny, the bedroom scene with the girl. The video about Jonathan, I can't remember that. Oh yeah, it's in the party when they were watching Jonathan and Jordan growing up, you know.
Yeah, on the screen.
Yeah.
Come on, like what do you call it, the projector?
I can't remember. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name. Chaos in Metropolis, I like that a lot. Fight versus the Weekly bad guy. I enjoyed that fight a lot. That was a great fight. That's one of
Yeah,
the
that was a really good fight. I just think the editing could have been better there, but outside of that, I really liked it.
Yeah. Jordan learning about not flying until Clark says it's okay. It's some kind of character growth because at that point he knows Clark fights someone, and you can tell he's torn apart. You can tell like Jordan really wants to help, but his father already grounded him in some ways. He already told him don't do that kind of stuff, you know. And I think it's amazing that shows that the character are able to learn, and they can grow as characters, and I like that. Superman and Lois is good at doing that. Stargirl was good at doing that. That's why these two shows are so well written because the characters are allowed to just improve and change. Um, Jordan. Okay, that's okay. The weekly villain dying was interesting. Lana exchanged with George about the school. George, that's like the previous mayor. That was interesting. It lent some seeds for future mystery in the show. General Lane saying he's sorry to Natalie was emotional. I say that because it's touching. I relate a lot to General Lane because we have a lot in common in our trait. Like, I'm not that uh, great with people, and I can understand his struggle, you know. And when you realize you hurt someone feeling, you feel sorry, and you're trying your best to, like, fix what you broke. And it was very human, and even if he's 50 years old, I could relate to him, you know. That's all you write good characters. You just make them based on how people are, and this is grounded and realistic for how people can be. This is why Superman and Lois is so good. The morning after the one night was hilarious. I enjoyed that a lot. Bruno Mannheim reveal. I'm glad he was revealed so early in the season. So this means probably like we will get another storyline in the back half with another villain. Because if there's already a reveal of him like in episode 1, I suspect like because Superman and Lois doesn't do filler. I suspect like the next 7-ish episode, we will get Bruno Mannheim stuff, and then in the back half we will probably end up with Lex Luthor, because what I heard, there was someone that was casted for Lex Luthor, so we will get Lex Luthor eventually. Um, Now I'm not quite sure if I understood right the ending of this episode, but um, is Lois pregnant? Is pregnancy a thing? Because after I've seen other people reviews, I did doubt it. I was like, does she has the symptom but she is not, so this means she has something else?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I was kind of confused with that.
Because my understanding,
At first, I know. At first, I thought it like looked like it. She was, but then, the dialogue, it made it seem like she wasn't. I don't know. I'm a little confused.
because on my understanding, her pregnancy is a thing, but maybe my understanding of English is not that amazing, because then when I watch reviews, they're like, she has symptom but she's not. So that's why I'm confused right now. Is she
I
pregnant
think
or not?
okay. Well, I think what they're saying is, yeah, they're just saying she has symptoms. I don't think that. I think. Yeah, I think they just said yeah she has symptoms of pregnancy, but that was all. So I think they were just confirming it there. I don't think they didn't say she wasn't ever.
Yeah. So that's something we will need to look into next week, or I should say this week, because the episodes are tonight. Um, so yeah.
Oh,
Um,
it's tonight. Shit.
yeah. Tuesday night is Gotham Knight and Superman and Lois. And Wednesday is the Flash, but this week the Flash is on break. So this means the next time we cover the Flash is 2 weeks from now, because they air on Wednesday. So yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground with Superman and Lois. I mean, we did speak a good chunk of time about it, and there's not much more I can add. Even if I liked it a lot, like I covered every point. So I guess we can move on to the grade for this episode. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's about it. Yeah, for me, it's around a 6 or 6.5. Really good. And just minor issues here and there. Uh, yeah, I hope the next one is great. Hope we
Yeah.
keep building up from here.
So I gave this episode a 9.7 out of 10, because my only issue is not that bad. It could be much worse. And yeah, um, I'm looking forward to see more. I enjoyed this season so far, even if it's only one episode and it can go downhill fast. The first episode is good. I liked it a lot. Um, so I guess now we can move to the 3 movies, and we will keep Legends of Tomorrow as another topic after the 3 movies. And as the final topic, we can cover the awards and stuff, because I think the show happened last weekend, if I'm right.
Mhm.
So we will start off with Troll, because that's the first movie I've seen. Um,
Nice, 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 nice.
okay, you can start. I let you start with that.
Right. Okay, so I guess yeah, right. There's 3 films. So one of them is good. Out of these 3 is pretty good, which we'll get to later. But yeah, okay. So with Troll 2, let me just pull up some of my notes here again. Let's see, where are they? Okay, here they are. Okay, now this is sort of similar to another film, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, they're both kind of similar, but in different ways. So this is kind of a guilty ple- pleasure film in, in a sort of weird way. So, because and I thought it would be kind of fantastic to mix things up this week after we watched some good films and recommend two films that are just offensive, not great really, but in different ways, and that both have kind of wacky stories, backstories to them. Now, now the second one we'll talk about later is in a different way, but this one, okay, so yeah, this is yeah, a toxic garbage film. No pun intended. Now, well, the second one, so the second one, which we'll talk about later, though, that was intentionally trying to be like offensive garbage. That was kind of the whole point of the film. It was sort of like a satire of itself, and we'll again talk about it, when we get to it. But I thought it did a genuinely great job. This is a film though that was not trying to be any of that. It's just a film that was trying to be a film, but made by some of, but it was made by some of the dumbest human beings in history, and it ended up being considered one of the worst films of all time. However, it is so garbage that it is fucking hilarious. And it is one of the best, worst films ever made, in my opinion. This has spawned so many memes that you probably noticed in the film while watching it. Like, oh, they're eating her, then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god. Right, like this film is just fucking filled with those. And it is just perfectly hilariously garbage in every way, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people try giving the title to the best worst film ever made to The Room, and films like that, and it's definitely a contender and a film we might watch in the future, along with a film called The Disaster Artist that's about the creation of it and about Tommy Wiseau. But in my opinion, this is slightly better than all of them. This is a film that I can watch over and over again, never get bored of it. And there is a documentary about the creation of it and the filmmakers and cast talking about it. It's on YouTube. It's called Best Worst Movie. Uh, highly recommend it to you or to anybody else in your free time. If you want to learn more about it and some key things here and there. It reveals a lot about it, and the shows how just crazy the people behind it were. Their way of thinking. It's not quite Birdemic or Cool Cat levels of crazy with the directors being nut jobs, but it is hilariously crazy too. But yeah, the documentary about it, the film stars and is directed by the kid actor and trolled to as an adult years later, and also has the father character from the movie, who's also a dentist in real life, and others from the films discussing it. And yeah, apparently, so the directors were from Italy, and the screenwriter was also the director's wife, and they made many films similar to this before that were weird comedic horror premises of many other films, they made, such as like Killer Rats and stuff like that. And they tried blending a comedic horror fantasy Italian film style with the North American Hollywood movie elements. And yeah, it definitely did not work out, as you can guess. But yeah, they had no clue what they were doing. They couldn't even like speak any English to the actors, so that, like, every day they were on set and they were just like, "What the fuck did we do?" And they would just like, they didn't understand the script, and they would like make up a lot of shit as they go. And if you're wondering why it's called Troll 2 and where's the first, what happened to the first Troll, so that's another hilarious thing about it. So it was originally titled Goblin, and the first Troll movie, it does exist. It has nothing to do with this. They're completely different films. The first Troll that came out before this one is just called Troll. Came out in 1986, and it's about just magic and such with trolls. And the main character is a wizard called Harry Potter Jr. And this shit came out before the Harry Potter books and movies. which has made the original creators of the film claim that J.K. Rowling plagiarized their shitty random film, but and you got a whole fiasco about that, which is fun to read about. But anyhow, the crazy directors of Troll 2 saw that and were just like, hey, let's title it Troll 2 to pretend like it's a sequel, since that film was a moderately popular for its time small comedic horror film for teenagers. So it might make some people now pay to see our film in theaters if we do it. So that's literally the entire reason why they called it Troll 2. Just because of that, it has nothing to do with there's no Troll 1, basically. Oh, what the fuck? Anyway, yeah, the kid actors, this was his first movie role, and he said that this like, his childhood dreams went up in flames when he got the part of this and they started filming. Yeah, this film has become a cult classic over the years, though, with just like how shitty it is and how hilariously bad it is, and everybody loving it. They even have a fucking Neobog Day now every year where everybody just gets around and watches it, with some of the original cast and crew members always showing up. It has sold out in many Yeah, it has sold out in many theaters years later after its release, when they re-released it in theaters and everybody talking about it and the memes, because it is that meme worthy, it is that hilariously bad. They literally cast, yeah, like, yeah, it is infamous now, and it is considered a cult classic with how hilariously garbage and one of the worst films ever made it is, and how meme worthy so many scenes are in it, and how infamous they become. And also there's so many like side characters in this, like that random guy who was like in the RV, who like was like, we don't have any of that. This is Neil Bog. Here's like a fucking cheeseburger with green stuff. You know, that like crazy old guy. Um, they literally, he was on his way to a mental hospital when he got the role. He just randomly showed up on set for the part when he was on his way to a fucking mental hospital, and he got the role. That is, and they talk about it in the documentary. Oh my god. Yeah, and it's just insane. This film is legendary. And yeah. Also, what did you think about this legendary film?
I will start off by saying this. I actually liked it more than Wakanda Forever. I'm not joking. I'm not joking,
It
bro.
is. Hey, hey,
It's
obviously,
actually better than Wakanda
yeah,
Forever.
yeah. No, obviously on like a filmmaking, storytelling, etc. level, obviously, Wakanda Forever is better because this is like pure garbage in every way. But on just an entertainment level, though, yes, this
No,
is
even
so
as a movie,
garbage.
dude. Remember,
Really,
Wakanda Forever made me change my way to grade stuff. It was that bad.
that is true, actually. Yeah.
and, and Troll 2, as much as this movie was bad, it didn't make me change my way of grading stuff. And I see myself actually rewatching maybe some other day to laugh at it. But Wakanda Forever, forget about that. There's no way I'm rewatching
Yeah.
this shit. Maybe for the
This shit
podcast
is
eventually.
hilarious.
Maybe I'm too harsh on Wakanda Forever, but I'm not joking when I say I think Troll 2 is a better movie than Wakanda Forever. I'm not joking. Forever made me change my way of reviewing stuff, man. It was negative, I don't know how many.
Like a -3 or something. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Damn.
the other thing I will say, it's funny because you said it yourself, but I will repeat it again for the new viewer that came in. Last week, we covered two of the best animation movie ever made, I think, and two very, very good movies. So this week coming into Troll, you're like, that's like the reverse. We watched among like one of the worst movies ever made.
Yes, it's considered the best worst movie ever made, along with The Room, which we might watch, someday. Same thing with Poltergeist. We'll see.
Yeah, so overall I think the movie was really bad. even if it's better than Wakanda Forever, it's not a good movie. Now
Of course, of course.
I will start off by saying too much telling instead of showing. I'm so pissed by that kind of approach on making story and stuff. You are a movie. You should be something I watch at and I'm like, that's the story, you know? I don't mind some
Yeah.
lore where characters are talking about the lore and stuff, but I want a good balance between lore you can see and lore you hear about, you know? But this movie is all about I tell you instead of showing you. The dialogue is bad. Jokes don't land. The pacing is bad. It's not funny. Most of the time they try so hard to be funny, but they fail. Bad acting.
Yeah, but to me, that's what's funny about it, though. That they try so hard.
Usually I don't mention acting, right? Because I think it's really hard to act. I'm not an actor myself, so who am I to judge the acting? But in this movie, man, I could see how bad the acting was, and I'm like,
Again, they literally just get random people off the streets for it, and they don't know what the scripts are because they can't. It's all in like Italian, so they're just saying whatever. It's hilarious. Oh my god.
when I say
I'm gonna lose. This is just hilarious.
when I say the acting was bad, it's because it was really bad. For me to notice how bad the acting was, it was bad. It's like another level bad.
I'm gonna tighten my belt to stop hunger pains. So I thought he was gonna fucking take the belt off and beat him. It's like, nope, just tightening it up to fix hunger pains. Like, this film is so famously garbage, it's hilarious.
Next up, pacing again. That movie, even if it's like an hour and a half, they could have trimmed down freaking half an hour. I'm like, what the fuck? How can you do that? One-dimensional villains, it was kind of shit. Pacing again. Magic does whatever the plot wants it to do. The acting is shit again. That's the second time I mentioned acting. What the fuck? The character just being where they need to be, without explanation on how they got there. I can't remember what I refer to, but hey, things happen. Like a rule.
Oh, yeah,
with
things happen just for the hell of it. Yeah, things just happen for the hell of it.
Yeah.
In this.
Likes of rule with the magic. The characters lack personality. Like no characters stand out. It's sad. Convenient call from the queen that saved everyone. Oh yeah, that's at the end of the movie when they are all about to die, but then the queen basically called all the troll to her, and that was godly terrible. Now I still had a few likes, you know.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're all humans here. Let's talk it out. This is... Oh my god.
This is how bad that movie was.
Yeah, this is legendary bad levels though of bad. Legendary levels of bad.
The little guy is likable. When I say the little guy is the main character, I think that's the main
Oh
character.
yeah, he is like the definition of like a 80s to 90s like child actor. That like cliche.
Yeah. The grandfather, I enjoyed him a lot. The grandfather and the son team up at the end was cool. And you can really feel how sad this was for the grandfather to die for real this time. So yeah, I don't have much to say about these bad movies, you know. Even Living, even if it's not really a bad movie per se, I don't have much to say. So, except if you have more to add to Troll 2, I'd suggest we can move on to the score of Troll 2.
Oh yeah, I mean, all I have to say is, yeah, if you ever have the free time, definitely watch Best Worst Movie on YouTube. That documentary about it is hilarious. But yeah, this is just a hilarious mess from start to finish, and I love it. Every scene is like perfect meme material, just how bad it is and how hard they try to be funny. It is just so hilarious. To me, this is a masterpiece. how not to make a film, and I love it. And yeah, definitely recommend watching it. I give this a 0 out of 10, but in the best way possible.
So I gave this movie a 3 out of 10. And I think it's a sincere one. And it's, as I said, it's higher than Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever was a 2.5 out of 10 for me. And I was generous because I added points to Wakanda Forever for the likes. Usually I don't do that. I do that only when the episode is really, really bad. I actually did that for Gotham Knights. That's like, when I do that, things are really getting bad.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I guess we can move on to Living as the next topic, because I've seen Living before. I've seen Toxic Avenger. So
Right. So this one this is one of the Flash episode this, 6, this, and Legends of Tomorrow are the three things I don't have too much to say. So this one, the main reason why is because it's a remake of an older film that I prefer more, and so because of that, I don't have too much to say about it. But I mean, for some backstory about it first, so this is a remake or reimagination, like English British version of a classic Japanese film from 1952 called Ikaru. It was by a director called Akira Kurosawa, and he's considered one of the best directors of all time. He's made a lot of the best samurai films of all time, like Seven Samurai, Ran, and all those films, Rashomon, that many American films that you probably know about and have seen copied. He's made many masterpieces, and yeah, one of the best of all time, like top five. And yeah, Ikaru was one of his, definitely one of his amazing ones, one of his best that he made. Uh, and yeah, I loved it. And yeah, this is a remake of that. Years later, with Bill Nye, in the English language. So yeah, it was nominated for Best Actor for his performance and adapted screenplay. And yeah, it was overall, it was a good, respectable like remake, a reimagination years later. But yeah, I don't have too much to say or too much like praise or anything like that. It's just like a good remake, really, because the original is way better. But yeah, I mean the best part about it though was the lead performance by Bill Nye. Um, that's definitely the best part of it, and he deserved his nominee, I would say. Outside of that, nothing too special really for me. It's just good film. That's all. It's not anything too special. Just yeah, not something I'm gonna really remember all that much. Especially since the original's there. So yeah. Because I don't have too much to say, but yeah, I mean the performance is good. I mean it's shot well, I guess. Costume's good. Lighting's good. Writing is solid, but yeah. Uh, so because of that, I'm more interested in just hearing what you have to, what you think, and because you never watched the original, since we
I
were
never yet.
doing the yeah, because we were doing the award thing, so yeah, seen the remake but not the original, and also the original, yeah, it's like an old black and white Japanese language film, so yeah. But so because you haven't seen the original, you might like this a lot more, or have a lot more to say about it. So I'm interested in hearing what you have to say about it.
I actually don't have much to say, but let's go over it. I had a few dislikes. The start was too long. I feel like the first 20-ish minute they could have cut a lot of things. It was a really rough start for me. The pacing really hurt the movie, I think. At some point they do a musical, and you know how I feel toward musical, and sometimes it's kind of fine when it's animation movie and stuff, but in this movie, I just didn't like it. I'm like, why am I watching this? I mean, The team is living, and the old man needs to learn how to live, but singing really, it's. I feel it took away from the atmosphere of the movie. That it's kind of sad to see that this guy will die soon, and yeah, I think that musical feels out of place and not initially like
Hmm.
appropriate to what they wanted to tell as a story. Um, so yeah, facing
And the original, the music is a lot better and appropriately used, or not as much music, so it lets you
yeah,
really feel the moment. So yeah, that is one thing another thing they did a lot weaker,
yeah.
of course.
I mentioned pacing twice in a row because there are moments in the movie it's very long, and I'm like, man, I want this movie to end. It's sad to say, but that's how
Yeah,
I felt.
and in the original, that's part of the point, because it is like, to try to make you feel the characters, journey and pain and all that, and
Yeah.
despair. But in this remake, since it's a remake, yeah, I have to agree with you. I just kind of wanted it to end.
um, Now let's go over to what I liked because I think I mentioned enough of my issues. These are the only issues I had, the one I mentioned. So what I liked the music overall. When they were not singing around, I still enjoyed the music a lot. Just don't sing, please. The characters were likable. The flashbacks were good. Showing instead of telling, they showed a lot of things about the characters and how they are and how they acted. The old man thinking about his past was very interesting, and and it was one of these moments where they were showing stuff instead of telling stuff, and I like that. I like that kind of stuff. That's what we call a movie. The restaurant scene with the young girl, that was very interesting. I enjoyed it. Good character moment for both characters. Um, the music, the acting was good. The dinner scene was good. The theme of being alive, I think, was very interesting. The girl reacting to the old man telling her he is dying. The music, the family reacting to his death, the old man saying thank you to everyone, emotional moment on the train when everyone realized the old man knew it died. I think the best part of the movie was after he died because you see the impact he had on people, and that's very interesting because that's life in general. Uh, when you die, yes, this is the end of what you can experience and stuff, but you still leave an impact on people. And this movie explores well the impact the old man had on people around him, and I like that. Some movies they would just end with the guy dying because they think that's the end of the story, but it's not really the end because people, even after they die, they leave an impact. I repeat myself,
Hmm.
but that's how I feel. I think that was um, well done. As I said, I don't have much to say. It's not
Yeah,
the best or the worst movie I've seen.
yeah.
It's
Again, it's just one of those films you don't have too much to say about it.
Yeah, it's just the average movie. I think it's not great. It's
Yeah.
not bad. It's just average.
Yeah.
Uh, what would be your grade out of 10?
Yeah, again, it's just a solid film. But yeah, it's respectable remake. But yeah, I'll give it around a 6 out of 10, I guess. But the original Ikiru, if that's how you pronounce it, or Ikaru, however you want to pronounce it, forgot how you do so. I would give that around a 9.5 out of 10. And if you find an English sub of it for people who aren't, who don't like reading subtitles. or if you're okay with watching old black and white, slow films
Oh
and
my.
subtitle films,
I hate subtitle
then
in black and
then
white.
yeah, then I would definitely recommend the film for anybody who is okay with that, because yeah, it is a classic and by one of the best directors ever. And yeah, um, that's all really. And hey, maybe one day we could start doing like a film history marathon thing where I recommend films like Citizen Kane
Oh,
for you to
that's good.
watch.
That could be
And yeah,
interesting.
I mean, it would be like old films, of course, and in black and white, and some of them
Yeah.
even like silent films, but and then like work our way up into the newer and newer years where get more stuff like in the '60s and stuff. Like that could be a fun idea, but yeah, but if we ever do that though, then warning, you're probably not gonna like a lot of them personally, because obviously they're older films, so black and white, or even like silent films where you read cards, or just like yeah, slow black and white films. So yeah, just prepare for that if we ever do that.
Yeah. Don't don't place too many silent and black and white movie in one. Like,
And
well,
if I were to do for silent films, I would only do at most like around 3 to 5, and then with the rest
in
that yeah,
separate
from
stream,
there.
not in the same.
Oh yeah, in separate streams, yes, and then, but yeah, the oldest from there at most would be Citizen Kane in 1940 or whatnot, which is yeah,
Yeah.
not in silent. Yeah, I'd probably recommend for the silent films. It would probably mainly be the cabinet of Doctor Caligula, Nosferatu, and some Charlie Chaplin films. Those would probably be like the silent films mainly.
Yeah. So, my grade on Living would be 7.5 out of 10. I think it was average, and yeah, there's not much more I will add. Um,
Yeah.
so I think we can move on to Toxic Avenger. Um,
Yeah, and
this was
yeah,
a
that's
fun
the
movie.
last of the Oscar things for the record. So yeah, and we'll get to that at the end of the stream, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, didn't win anything. I mean, didn't deserve it. It's only nominated for 2 things anyway. But yeah, so Toxic Avenger though. Okay. Uh, okay, so yeah, again, as I said, decided to mix things up this week with two not great films, but in different ways that have wacky stories to them. So this is the other one. So this is basically in, but well, Troll 2 was just like garbage because it was just a garbage made film and it wasn't intentionally trying to be like anything. This was, and in my opinion, at least to me personally, I thought it worked and it was great and it worked for a lot of people apparently, because so this is basically an exploitative, gory, over the top film. It is trying to be as offensive as possible with no apologies. It is low class. It relies mainly on practical effects for its budget, and that's what it's going for, and that's what it embraces. It was trying to be, and it was bad in a satirical way. It pokes fun. It pokes fun at other exploitative films in its genre, and at the time, it pokes fun at all the '80s films and all the stereotypes of all the '80s, 1980s stereotypes in films. And pokes fun at even like superhero films, has a lot of themes of that, and also pollution stuff. It's all just like this, pokes fun at a lot of things. It's this exaggerated hyper reality world, and again, in my opinion, it did a great job at this all as a satirical filth exploitative film and a satire everything and of the '70s and '80s, with films that were trying to desperately be cool and edgy, and especially with those bully type of characters that have not held up well. They even nailed the bad narration voice that does not match with the characters.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, a lot of people love it for all those reasons to this day, and it ended up being getting great reviews. It made lots of money and it became a cult classic. So much so that it spawned many sequels with batshit crazy things in them too, such as a scene in the second film near the beginning where the main character, the Toxic Avenger, literally grabs a midget and then turns him into a basketball and throws him into a hoop.
What
Like
the
it is
fuck?
just, yeah, it is just this batshit crazy universe, and I love it. I love all batshit crazy films like these.
You know what?
And yeah,
We need in a stream, another stream. I don't know when. We need to cover the sequels if there's more.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they do get worse and worse. They go downhill over time, but
Oh
yeah,
really?
but yeah, and yeah, many of them had celebrity cameos in them too, and it spawned shock. This spawned shockingly a children's TV animated show that is also is very popular and actually kind of worked and was good, and then also a video game series for children as well, about
Wow.
pollution and everything and fixing up the it kind of like Captain Planet sort of, and this spawned a whole production company of these things by Lloyd Kaufman of just making up all these fucked up films. Another of which we might watch in the future, which we were planning to possibly watch this week, but we had too many things, so we didn't. Called Poultrygeist, so we'll save that for another reach, but for another week. But yeah, it spawned a whole production company called like Traumaville Studios or whatnot. But the Toxic Avenger 1 started it all. And there are many popular filmmakers who got their start in the film industry by working with Traumaville Studios. One of which was actually James Gunn. He got his start in Hollywood from writing Tromeo and Juliet, one of their films. So yeah, and many others. And now also they're making a remake of this film, The Toxic Avenger, set to release in 2023 or 2024, which features Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones, if you know him, the Elijah Wood, you know, the main character in Lord of the Rings, Jacob Tremblay, Kevin Bacon, Jane Levy, Taylor Page, and many other famous actors and actresses. That is a crazy cast. So yeah, this is a insane origin and insane story right there. But yeah, and a great batshit crazy film in my opinion. The suspense and creativity in this film is fantastic. Again, practical effects are amazing and hilarious. It is a hilarious film. It pays tribute to Frankenstein in some areas, but for the most part, love it or hate it, it's a super original concept in film when it came out, and there was really no other like it, and still kind of isn't today. It was
Yeah.
the first film that did many of these things, especially with pollution and stuff, and honestly has really held up as a dark, grotesque, like anti-hero, superhero type of film when you compare it to comic book films in the same years and even like years later, and see the stuff it does in comparison in the superhero and action aspect in comparison to the majority of those other comic book movies that came out that were just kind of sloppy and mediocre. Like it does a better job than them, which is hilarious. So yeah, it's probably the biggest inspiration, honestly, for a lot of independent filmmakers out there that ended up making a lot of films today to like go and just shoot their films that probably wouldn't have if they didn't see this. And it also, this is the film that kind of like broke you know, that like that like traditional following these rules or guideline that like the media and Hollywood tries to force onto filmmakers. Then this film came out and it made people be like, yeah, none of that matters, just do fuck all. And it's what inspired people like Peter Jackson to make his early gory horror films that started his career. So hey, if it wasn't for Toxic Avenger, we probably wouldn't have gotten Lord of the Rings, which is crazy to think about. But
Wow.
yeah, yes, yeah, I'm sure this isn't really your type of film. You know, you're not really into these type of things, but I mean, for what it is, and again, I love all sorts of films. I thought it was, and just batshit insane and great and crazy, and is a cult classic, and it's and either way, I thought it would be very interesting to recommend this one week just to hear your reaction to this insane acid trip of a film, whether you like it or not. So, but yeah, what did you think about this though?
Before I go any deeper, I want to laugh at woke Hollywood by saying there is a very diverse cast even in 1980s.
Yeah.
We got blacks, we got Latino, we got everyone, Chinese, everyone is there.
Oh, yeah, in the sequel, it's like in Tokyo.
Oh, you see, woke Hollywood. You see.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, this is a case similar to Troll
Others.
and Wakanda Forever, where
Uh-huh.
the score was really low, and then I got a bit generous. And I will also start by saying I actually like this movie more than Wakanda Forever again. I think,
Again.
yeah, like not by much more, but I still think it's a better movie. It's shocking, but it's a better movie. Like
Yeah.
I may sound like a Marvel hater and stuff, but that's just how I feel. I really think Wakanda Forever is one of the worst thing I've seen, and it's because they take themselves seriously, and they really thought that was a good movie, but it's not. And then we get these really bad movies that are actually better because there's less issues, and there's less pretending to be better than what it is. Like I don't think at any
Yeah.
point Troll or Toxic Avenger try to
I know
pretend
this
it's
embraces
clever.
what it is. It is intentionally trying to be as offensive and just garbage as possible and hilarious and over the top with
Yeah,
practical effect gore. Like God, there was so much by so much like practical like gore in this that's so well done that they had to censor so much stuff when it was aired on TV.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, it's not the best movie out there. I know it, but they don't think it's a masterpiece. The people making this movie, I don't think they think it's a masterpiece. But I'm sure the people making Wakanda Forever have a different philosophy. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they were pretentious as fuck
Yeah,
with it.
I'm sure they were thinking it's the best MCU movie ever. It's the best
Oh
Black
yeah.
Panther movie ever. It's
Yeah,
the
you know,
best.
I shed a tear when T'Challa died from a cold. That was really nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Wakanda Forever did pretend a lot, and that's the biggest sin of it. Like, when your product is not that great, don't pretend it is great, because then people will just try even more to see issues, and this is what happened with me. Like, I thought that movie was too long for its own good. I thought this movie had, like, we've seen it like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I still remember a lot of issues I had, and I if I don't have my notes in my face for Troll 2 or even this movie, I won't remember my issue with this movie. I need to take a look at the notes. That's another sign of something being really bad. When I don't need my notes to remember issues, something went wrong. Really wrong. Um, so, Toxic Avenger. I had a lot of issues. Nowhere near as much as Wakanda Forever, but I still had a lot of issues. So, first issue, jokes don't land. Dialogue is bad. Here again, just like Troll 2, bad acting. And I'm not the kind of person that will really uh, pick apart acting because, as I said earlier,
Yeah.
I'm not an actor myself.
Yeah,
And
and again, I will say, unlike Troll 2, though, again, the bad acting and the bad like humor and everything, it's all intentional. So really, this film just it comes down to whether it works for you or not, if you're into it or not. If you're not into it or it doesn't work for you, then yeah. But if you are and you like the inside joke, and if it intentionally being like bad acting and everything by everybody, then it's good. But yeah, that's what it really comes down to.
yeah, so next up is Joke Don't Land Again. And next up is unbelievable people would just enjoy killing like that. I speak about these one-dimensional trash villain that just go in the car and hit people.
I mean, it is a satire of those characters from like the '80s and stuff. Because yeah, there were a lot of them.
it's a bit like when I was watching that, I was rolling my eye on how bad this was, and I didn't get it was a satire because I haven't seen enough movies from that era. I've seen a few for sure, but not enough to really get the joke. And yeah, instead of laughing, I wanted to cry on how bad the humor was. That was
Oh,
subtitled.
you didn't like the scene where they ran over the kid?
No, it was shit.
It was hilarious to me. Just,
I think it
oh
was
shit, he's still moving. Finish the job.
I think it was embarrassing to watch instead of laughing at the pink suit of Marvin. Like, it was embarrassing. That scene was embarrassing. It wasn't that funny, you know, and I think they wanted it to be funny. I didn't find that funny. Plot convenience. The truck with chemical being by the gym for the main character to bat in the chemical. Um, like, if the truck didn't stop there, the plot would never happen, you know? And, oh, here again, I usually don't point out terrible sound effects, but here I felt like there was terrible sound effect throughout the movie. Plot convenience with the main character saving the cop. He just happens to be at the right place, right moment, right time, you know? Music non-stop take away any impact music may have on the story. But this is interesting because we had non-stop music for like at least 14 minutes of the movie. At some point they toned it down, so I kind of liked it more when they stopped playing fucking music in the background. Um, the guy weird self-sacrifice in the restaurant. I can't remember that.
Oh, I say with the music though, in those like 70s and 80s films, it's like they would always play music over top of like those retro songs over top of like with like high school characters or like jock characters. So that's what it was kind of parodying there. But yeah.
Okay. Um, the restaurant guy is just being one-dimensional a-hole. Nobody tried to use the gun on Malvin in the restaurant. That's when they had shotguns, but they don't use shotguns.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Whatever.
again, another thing about it is, yeah, the whole fucking town is called, yeah, with the name of it and everything. Like, yeah, that's also part of the gif of it. It's just everybody is evil or just wants to do bad shit.
Yeah. Plot convenience. The prick selling teenager just happened to bump into the main character. Yeah. Joke don't land again. Mayor is one-dimensional. Police chief is one-dimensional. Um, Lots of characters are kind of shit. Now, okay, I think that's enough for my dislikes. I got enough there. I said a lot. There are still a lot of things I liked. It's funny how the text is almost as big in my likes and my dislikes. And it's surprising, because I didn't expect to like this much movie. Well, like it this much. This is maybe praising it too much. Um, Good looking cast. These are good looking actors and stuff. The girls and the boys, they know how to look fit, you know. um, I did crack a smile on the puberty line from the mother. That's after Marvin hit puberty, you know. I will admit, I did crack a smile there. Um,
And they actually set that him on fire in a fire suit in the scene before
yeah.
to get the shot. That's hilarious.
The main character killing the bad guys near the cop. That was gruesome. And every killing was amazing in that movie, I will say that. Funny mayor meeting. Balvin getting rejected by his mother was very sad. The guy getting shot in the restaurant despite him wanting to help. Action sequence in the restaurant. I like the action sequence a lot. The restaurant crime scene was funny. I mean, he killed someone with pie and stuff, and And the reveal of the main character new face felt earned because that was like at
Yep,
least
it was good suspense.
15-minute in, because for like at least a good 20 to 30 minutes you only could see the back of his head, and the reveal was interesting. I liked it.
Yeah, yeah, no, this did a light years better job with its face reveal than Morbius.
Or Halo.
Yeah,
Funny when all the thugs in the alley killed each other with guns. I think that was my favorite scene. Everyone is ready to kill him, and then they start shooting, and he just hop around and they kill each other. That was my favorite scene. I was bursting in laugh. Um, Emotional when the girl accepts Malvin, and that's funny because that's the blind girl that accepts him.
yeah,
The irony of the monster being more human than the humans. I like that team a lot, and I think they were clever about it. The guy dying in a car crash. Oh yeah, that's the killer using the car. I like that. That's ironic. Oh, he killed so many people, and
yeah.
a car killed him. The
Mhm.
washing machine killing. Who kills with a washing machine?
Yeah,
Oh my. The city reacting to Marvin maybe killing an innocent woman. Um, and at the very end, he's just chilling with his girlfriend, and they want to capture him and maybe kill him. And then he killed the big bad guy. We see the guts of the guy just laying there. I like the ending a lot. Um, so I don't have much more to say there. I think I covered enough ground. 1.5 out of 10 after taking away points, but I added 1.5 after adding points because I feel like I enjoyed it a lot. Like, my likes did weight a lot. So the final score is a 3 out of 10, just like Troll 2, but I do think it's better than Troll 2, and I liked it more than Troll 2.
yeah, yeah. Now for me, so again, Troll 2 was just a garbage film, 0 out of 10. But yeah, with everything I said, this is not only just hilarious in that way, but it also is, in my opinion, and to a lot of people, just genuinely great as long as you're, into into this type of thing and you understand all the jokes. So yeah, for me, I really digged it. I really loved just how insane it was. For me, this is a 7 out of 10.
Oh,
Great.
that's cool. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave it a 3. Any closing thoughts on Toxic Avenger?
No, that's about it. But yeah, hey, when the remake comes out with Peter Dinklage and Elijah Wood and Kevin Bacon, we're gonna watch that.
Yeah,
And this is a better superhero film than any MCU stuff as of late.
yeah. Um, so I guess we can move to DC's Legends of Tomorrow third season, the last good season of the show. Um,
Hmm.
what did you think of season 3?
Yeah, so this is the third one and last one where I don't have really much to say about it at all. Just and yeah, the reason why is because yeah, everything I kind of said about the show with season 1 and season 2, kind of what I think already about just season 3 as well, because it's all kind of like the same with its qualities and everything in my opinion. The only thing that really is difference is just the quality level of it, but the all the elements and stuff are kind of the same to me. It's just yeah, for Legends of Tomorrow season 3 though, this is probably my favorite out of the three though. I thought it was good. There were definitely issues with it that I had similar to the others, like with the pace and the tone. the cinematography being too like overexposed and not really taking advantage of it as they should have, and some issues with like the line delivery with characters and the acting here and there. But overall, I thought it was not bad at all. Thought it was pretty solid season. But yeah, not nothing really to go into specifically. But if you have any questions, and I can try to answer them for you. But yeah, if you wanna,
I got a lot of question there because
okay,
that was the last good season of the show for me. I liked season 2 much more, but season 3 had still lots to offer. So my
yeah.
first question for you would be, how did you thought? How did you feel about episode 9, the follow-up to the crossover where Stain died? How did you feel about that?
I liked it. I was happy to see it. I like the follow up there. Um, yeah, I was cause yeah, I was kind of disappointed when that happened. So I was hoping, I was hoping for maybe something else, at least a little bit more. But then we got that, so yeah, that was nice. So yeah, I liked it overall.
And
There
how
were
did you feel toward the start when they were planting seeds at Stain maybe leaving the team before he died?
uh, I wasn't a huge fan of the tone. I think that kind of ruined it, but I like the attempt, and that's kind of like a lot of things with this show. I like the attempt and ideas. I just think the delivery is kind of off. But yeah, it was all right, I guess. And for the record, yeah, just like season 1 and season 2. I mean, I did kind of say two characters in season 1, but for the most part, yeah, again, don't bother really asking me who my favorite character is because I don't really have one. They're all kind of like the same to me. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so season 3 Constantine. What did you think of the 2 cameo and a half of Constantine?
Those were like some of my favorite episodes.
I think the 10th episode, the first episode where Constantine is there from start to finish, is hands down the best episode in the entire show. That was a great
Agree.
episode.
Agree.
Uh,
Now I can see why you wanted them to recast the actor because
God damn, he elevates everything.
yeah. Even if episode 14 or 15, I can't remember, that's one of these two by the end when Sarah is basically possessed and Constantine comes back. Uh, that's another great episode. It's not as good as episode 10, but it's another really, really good episode. What did you think of the second cameo of Constantine?
Yeah, that was again one of my favorite episodes as well. Not as good as the 10th, but yeah, really good as well.
So, what would be the worst episode for you that season?
The worst episode. I would probably have to go on IMDb first to like check because I wouldn't remember off the top of my head exactly. So let me just like go to the episode things and I can look and remember. But
Okay.
yeah, there's definitely a few I can mention. But let's see. Okay, so I'm at the IMDb now. Okay. Yeah, so for season 3, probably one of the worst ones for me was the. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna go with these two because, in my opinion, it was some of the. It was not only kind of lackluster for me personally.
You caught yourself. You muted
I'm
yourself.
sorry, but sorry. It was not only kind of lackluster for me, but it was also just wasted potential with what they could have done. It's the second episode, and then probably Yeah, sorry, one moment. Oh, sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay, so since he's out of commission for now, I will say this: I agree with him. Second episode in the third season of Legends of Tomorrow was a letdown. It wasn't that good, and it's wasted potential, just like what he said. So I cannot wait for him to come back, so I can repeat that again, um, because I'm on board with him. That's funny how we are very different and we have very different tastes, but sometimes what he says, I think the same, and vice versa, you know? That's the beauty of our podcast, I think. Sometimes we have different opinion, but other times we actually connect and we actually have the same opinion despite being very different people with different takes. So just let me know, Cole, if you're back. Um, Gotham Knights was terrible. Superman and Lois was the savior of the stream, and the Flash is on break. So next week, no Flash, but Gotham Knight and Superman and Lois will be part of the podcast, and the same goes for the week after, because our podcast is on Tuesday, so this means it's before the Flash episodes. So 2 weeks without the Flash. So I really hope and wish DC will be invested enough um, to watch both shows, so he can still remain with us. Because if he doesn't watch Gotham Knight or Superman and Lois, um, it will be hard for him to just come by and have a discussion with us. Anyway, that's my wish for the next 2 weeks. Having DC with us talking about two other shows, comic book related. Um, Toxic Avenger was funny, but it's a bad movie. Troll 2 was a bad movie again. Living was a decent movie. So this stream, this week, has a lot of
Okay,
entries.
sorry, I'm back. But yeah, it was probably the second and the 13th. If I'm getting the 13th right, if it's the one that I think it is. The
Is it the
sorry,
pirate
not the
one?
third. Sorry, not the 13th, the 12th. Yeah. And here's the thing: there's worse ones in my opinion than the 12th. I believe it's called the Curse of the Earth Totem.
Oh yeah, that's the
There's-
pirate one. Yeah.
yeah, here's the thing: there's even the second one's definitely the worst one in my opinion, sadly, but I think they had potential, but sadly, yeah. And basically, I think there's worse ones overall than the pirate one. Like I think you could definitely say the 14th one would be worse, or the seventh one as bad. But the reason why I'm bringing up the 12th one as another one of my least favorite out of the two, though, is because, once again, just like the second, the wasted potential, I think, was huge, and it looked visually so ugly, which is inexcusable with the topic. Like, they should have made the cinematography should have been like number one priority, but then also it gave me bad flashbacks to all the fucking episodes in season one and season two that they fucked up so hard that are similar to it, that they that pissed me off. And so yeah, that's why I'm saying episode 12, even though there's probably worse ones. But yeah, that in episode 2.
That's funny because I also think episode 2 was really bad and it was wasted potential, just like what you said. Uh, I think a worse episode for me outside of episode 2 would be the freaking episode where Ellen Hunt. The Ellen Hunt episode was godly terrible. It's one of the worst thing I've seen. It's parody for the sake of parody, but it's not even good parody. Um, Another really bad episode this season would be the um, the one with Elvis. I think that's 14. Maybe it's not 14. Maybe it's 15. I can't remember, but you know which episode I'm talking about, right? The guitar, the Elvis Presley rip-off thing. Do you know which episode I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
think that one was godly awful because it was a freaking musical and you know how I feel toward musical. Um, Now, um, I think this season was really good because of Constantine. And how did you feel towards Zari, the new character in the cast?
Uh, I mean, just like the other new character in season two, it's it's like they add new characters, and it's like they add, in my opinion, they get added and they do like a few things, but then afterwards they're not really. They're just indifferent. They're just whatever. Again, just like all the others to me. It's like they at first they are added for a reason, but a good reason, but then later on it's like they run out of things to do with them, in my opinion. Sort of like Umbrella Academy after season one.
What did you think of the bottle episode, the time loop?
Which episode number was that again?
I think it was the 11th episode where Zari keep dying, and she
Oh,
need to figure
right.
out what's going on the ship.
I like that episode.
I think that was a really good episode to help her understand the crew and to help us, the viewer, understand her better.
Yeah, and I think that had some of the better lighting and visuals, but that's just me.
Yeah, and that was one of the two episodes where most of the jokes landed, because sometimes for me the humor doesn't land well with this season, and sometimes the dialogue is so hard to listen to. I'm like, why are you doing this, Legends? That's like the cracks of what will become worst in future season. I'm telling you, like, that's our new Shield I'm talking about. Season 5 and 6 are like almost rock bottom CW.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Season 4 is bad, but season 5 and 6 are like much worse. um, so yeah, I liked a lot Damien Dark and Nora. What did you think of Damien Dark and Nora? The villains.
Yeah, they were fine.
So what I like the most about Damien Dark is how he can make you laugh while killing people. That, I think that's unique. That's the vibe I'm getting, and that's funny.
I mean, there's others that have done that. I mean,
Yeah.
we look at what was his name again? Yeah, right, Peacemaker. Sorry, not Peacemaker. Homelander. Mixed up the two for a moment. Yeah, Homelander did kind of the same thing, but
Did you felt any chemistry between Nora and Ray, or not really?
uh, I don't know. The chemistry kind of lacks throughout this entire show in general. So I didn't really get it, but
So yeah, I think we did cover a lot of ground. I did a review anyway, retrospective. I did everything, so I did cover it a lot. I thought this third season was better than the first one, and clearly better than season 4 and upward. It was, however, weaker than the second season, I think. The third season had a lot of filler episode in it. I feel like among, like, we had 17, I believe, or 18 episode. I feel like maybe 4 episode or 5 were filler. And it's a bit sad because you don't have that many episodes and you waste time with filler. So that's all I feel. Some of the humor don't land anymore. Some of the character don't use their power that often anymore, and it's a bit sad. What did you think of Eva, the new character, the new love interest for Sarah?
uh, whatever. It was whatever. I didn't really care.
Okay, so um,
By the way, why is it that every single episode name is just like it's like a parody title of like different films or shows? Like what is I don't get it.
There's a lot of pop culture reference, I think.
Yeah, and I can notice it just in the literally every episode title. I notice it's a title of a film or a show, but they then just rearrange one word.
Yeah, but I think they drop a lot of Easter egg in the episodes and a lot of reference. Maybe that's the
Yeah, I
idea.
guess. Yeah, but it's just whatever. It's get kind of repetitive at a certain point. Whatever.
Yeah. So what would be your grade out of 10 for this third season?
Uh, around the 6, I would give it.
Oh, that's interesting. So I gave a 8 out of 10. Um, my issues really cripple this season a lot, and this is funny because each time I've rewatched this season, the season got a little bit worse, but it's still very good. For me, like 8 out of 10 is good. 9 would be great, but 8 it's really good. It's more than just average, and I think it's well deserved. So Constantine, you are the best part of the show, and Zari, great new team member. Wait to see Zari in season 5, how terrible the character is. Um, so yeah, um, 8 out of 10 for me, 6 out of 10 I believe for Cole. I think that's enough for Legends of Tomorrow. So, what are you looking for the most with the next season?
I not really looking for anything, but I heard it will be bad, so that will be fun.
It will be bad. You will be served. At least there's one positive in the fourth season. Constantine is a series regular, so he's there in every single episode. That's one good thing, right? The rest is just so bad. um, so yeah, I think that's enough for DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Now we can move on to the reward, the last topic. Um, so
Right.
you take the lead here. Is there a website we need to take a look at?
Right. No, basically, okay. So yeah, we the last month or two, yeah, we did all that, and then yeah, the thing happened. So yeah, I guess we'll look at the results now. So yeah, that's all. Um, just send you the link, and you can screen share or not, but
Yeah.
doesn't really matter too much because I have my tab open with it, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, there's the right. It's probably send you it here. Right, and yeah, you can just go from the bottom and then to the top. So yeah, we just quickly look at these, but I watched the show with some friends, played some drinking games, and yeah, it was as cringe as we expected. Laughed at it, and I loved how they spent like an hour trying to make shitty jokes, and then they cut off like 5 people who won awards because oh nope, sorry, we don't have time for your speeches. We're gonna cut you off, but no, but then they waste like an hour on shitty skits. I love that, but anyway, yeah, the first award of the night was international film there, and yeah, it was obviously gonna go to that because it was the only one for best picture there, so.
So,
So
question for
that
you:
was obvious.
do you see my tab on
Oh
the
yeah, I
screen
see your
share?
tab.
Okay.
Yeah, basically you scroll up when you get to international film, and then you go from there,
Perfect.
basically. But
Super.
yeah, that was the most predictable award of the night, obviously, because I mean, it got a thing for best picture and the others didn't, so it was obviously going to win. I mean,
Yeah.
there's literally no other choice. If Decision to Leave was nominated as it should have, then it maybe would have had some competition. But yeah, So there's that, and then with the short films, we didn't watch any of them. But yeah, all I'll say is, yeah, it was the most predictable shit ever with what won. I didn't even have to watch them. I could have just guessed easily. 'Cause they're so predictable and stupid. They probably don't even watch them themselves when they vote. They just vote for the most widely available ones. That's all. Animated film though, I think you'll be happy with this.
Eh?
Yeah, it's scroll up. Yeah, I think you'll be happy with what one animated.
Oh, it deserves it. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's definitely not undeserved. It's not my favorite, but that Marcel or Puss in Boots winning, either of those three are deserving. As long as the Sea Beast or Turning Red didn't win, that was all that mattered.
well,
Yeah, any thoughts on that?
Puss in Boots was my second pick, but it's well deserved. I'm glad they won. It deserves it. Like
Alright.
that's all you do animation right.
Alright, that's nice. Oh, okay. So no issues there for you. Okay. And then, yeah, we didn't see any documentaries, but yeah, all I'll say is the worst one won. Well, four of those are great. And then Navalny is just a generic documentary that doesn't say much, but it's anti-Russia, which means it wins because of everything that's happening right now. Anyway, and then visual effects, another most predictable thing of the night. Obviously, this was gonna win. I mean, what else?
I'm glad it's not Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, that
It
would have
doesn't
been
belong
a
there.
joke. Yeah, that's the only one that doesn't belong there. Uh, and then yeah, original song. I'm so glad that won over fucking Lift Me Up from Black Panther. That was relieved. Oh my god. And then original score. This one I'm not really a fan of, honestly, personally.
I'm fine with it. I mean, the 5 ones there are fine, except maybe Babylon. Babylon is the one I remember the less, but yeah, I'm glad with that choice.
I mean, personally, I didn't like the film so much. It's probably my least favorite film there, but when it comes to the music, though, I do think Babylon had the best music, but, you know. Anyway, so yeah, makeup and hairstyling. Thank God they didn't give this to Elvis. For fuck's sake.
And that's funny because I've seen somewhere in the dark internet where people were angry at Brendan Fraser getting the award and stuff because they're like, it's fat shaming. It's
Yeah, they're brain dead. They're brain dead. It's fat phobia. Oh my god.
I
You
was
fucking
laughing
idiot.
my butt off. I was like, really? Did guys have seen the movie or something? Because that's not what's going on in that movie. Like,
Yeah,
it's
not at all.
It's
And
a movie
again, they
about
worked. They
someone
worked
that
with
doesn't like himself. He doesn't shame fat. He just doesn't like himself, you know. And that's something people can relate to, even if you're not like that heavy or obese and stuff. It's a human struggle. That movie is deeper than just fat phobic and shit.
And it's all fucking stupid. Whatever. It's all stupid. I'm not even gonna participate in it. But anyway, well deserved award.
Yeah.
If not that, then the Batman. If not that, the Batman. The Batman's makeup was amazing as well. Like you could barely even tell that was Colin Farrell as Penguin, because the makeup was that good. Now, honestly, I would have had them both tied if it was my choice. But anyway, yeah, sound. So this was predictable because yeah, they wanted to give Top Gun at least one thing on the night, and this was the one thing, that the most obvious thing, and it was also like the loudest movie of the year. So yeah.
Yeah.
But did it deserve it though? Well, for me, I would say it wasn't undeserved of him, but I would have went with the Batman myself.
Yeah, we are the same on that. I think it's a good pick, but I would have gotten the Batman as well because Batman has
Yeah,
one of the best
yeah,
soundtracks.
like I didn't even like love the Batman. Like I thought it was great, but just like every other like Batman film, I didn't think it was amazing. As other people, I thought it had issues. It wouldn't be like top 20 of the year or top 10 of the year for me, but makeup and sound design, just those two things specifically, were amazing. So I don't know, whatever. Now this is the
Oh
only
my.
award And this is the only award that I wouldn't have been mad at with Black Panther winning it, and I actually again, while I don't like the film, the costume design is the one good thing in it.
I feel like Babylon, Elvis, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. These three all deserves it more than
I mean, like, I
Wakanda.
wouldn't have picked it myself. I would have picked probably Babylon or. But I mean, again, while there's a lot of costumes while there's a lot of variety of costumes and everything everywhere all at once, they aren't the most polished. And then Elvis is mainly just like different varieties of the Elvis costume. It's not like too high tech. And then Babylon is mainly just like basic old fashioned Hollywood dresses and stuff like that. So, well, in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, they had to do a lot of like unique original visions and like creativity, so I can understand why it won. But yeah, I mean, this is the only one where I wouldn't have been mad at. So yeah, if it won any other categories, I would have been mad.
Best achievement in production design.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have nominated any of these five. I think all five of these nominees were shit choices, but out of the five choices, though, they gave it to the best one, probably. It depends, though, because it wasn't really, the bunkers in the film weren't really realistic to actual World War I. So if you want to dock points off of it for that, then the best is probably Babylon or Avatar.
I think it deserves it. That was my favorite movie in the bunch. Maybe
Yeah.
Fableman, I don't know. I liked
Yeah.
All Quiet.
Oh, and well, another category that was pretty predictable. Yeah, pretty predictable this year.
I would have chosen Top Gun.
Yeah, I mean, for me, out of the five, I would have chosen this one, but out of the whole year, I probably would have chosen Decision to Leave. But you know, that wasn't nominated for anything. Anyway, yeah, cinematography. Out of the five, this was deserved, but again, I think there were better nominees better films that weren't nominated though.
Batman, for me.
But even then, Decision to Leave, Banshees of Inisherin. Uh, I mean, you could even give one to Everything Everywhere. But yeah, and then yeah, The Northman as well. Like yeah, and then
Oh my! Woman
well,
talking!
I mean, this was predictable because this was a weak group of nominees. Like Top Gun Maverick, like why is that even there for screenplay?
I
And
would pick
Livin', as I
any
said,
of the four others. That's the worst movie in the five, I think.
I mean, then I don't know. Like it isn't. I mean, I think the worst one out of the five for me is Glass Onion. But look, I mean, I don't. I think the script in Glass Onion was very good. And while I like All Quiet on the Western Front and Top Gun Maverick, I do think the scripts in them are the weakest aspects of their films. And then Livin' again is just an adaptation of like a far better film. So because of that, I mean, there was like barely any competition for Women Talk, and it's like you have two blockbuster films that were lucky to even get nominated who shouldn't even really be there, and then Glass Onion for some fucking reason, and then an adaptation of a far better film. So it's like yeah, I can understand why it won.
Where was Bullet Train everywhere?
Yep, yeah, that didn't get anything, but yeah.
Why Triangle of
Original.
Sadness didn't get it? They deserved it.
Yeah.
They deserved it.
Yeah. Okay. Look. Well, it's one of my favorite films of the year, if not my favorite of the year. I loved Everything Everywhere, Banshees, Triangle, Tar. I loved all four of those besides Fablemans. But Everything Everywhere might be my favorite out of the four, just as an overall film. However, when it comes to the screenplay, I'm sorry, Tar's screenplay, Triangle screenplay, and Banshee's screenplay are all better. Look, I can understand giving Everything Everywhere director and other awards, but for screenplay, I think you should have given it to one of those other films.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Even if I wasn't the biggest fan of Banshee or Tar, I think they were both better screenplays than Everything Everywhere All
Yeah.
at Once.
Again, amazing film. I just think there are better screenplays. It's four amazing films. It's
Yeah.
no foul. It's just damn, really. It's like if anything, the screenplay kind of hurt Everything Everywhere at points because the parts of the screenplay was what caused some of the pacing issues with like where they positioned scenes. It wasn't the editing that did that; it was the screenplay. So
Yeah.
it's like sure the ideas in the film was amazing, and that's part of the screenplay, but still like the amount of layers in just every single line of dialogue in Triangle of Sadness and Tar and Banshees is insane. Like there's so many layers and like so many detailed things just in like every line of dialogue. It's like and so many meanings and messages in each thing. It's like
Triangle of
Everything
Sadness is a
Everywhere.
masterpiece. It's my
Yeah, it's
favorite
just-
movie we covered on the channel.
yeah, it's just confusing. But anyway,
I'm talking about
And-
it right now, and I want to watch again the movie. I will probably watch it again next weekend for real.
yeah, I might rewatch it as well. Yeah.
Best achievement in directing.
And now you say this one I can understand, but yeah, again, screenplay I did not, but this one I can understand more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd probably agree with it. Again, Tar, Triangle, Banshee's all amazing as well, but yeah, I do think that had the best direction. But anyway, now this one, now this is funny.
Why?
They gave it to the worst performance. They awarded her for her legacy and her career instead of just the performance. They just wanted to award her for because they like her and her
Look.
career.
You know how I feel toward Wakanda Forever. It's the worst movie I've seen. But I feel like Angela deserves it better than Jamie Lee.
Yeah. Like again, I would have been. Here's the thing: I would have been furious if Angela Bassett won because it's only like the fourth best one here in my opinion. And again, it was just being overrated when it's like it's not even that great of in comparison to other MCU performances. But it's just being overrated because it's in Black Panther and everything, and just because of those Oscar bait speeches she did it with the character and all that, blah blah blah. And yeah, she was getting overpraised and over awarded this year for it, but. Still, it was better than Jamie Lee Curtis. So, like, they literally gave it to the worst one. Like,
Yeah.
I would have given it to any.
I would have
I'm kind of. I don't know.
I would have given it either to Carrie Condon or Ong Cho. They were great.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
were
I would have gave it.
they
yeah.
were the best part of both of their movies. Like
Definitely. Definitely.
they are tied for me. They are on top of that. Like even if we place actor and actresses in the same kind of supporting role area, I think these two would beat any other supporting actor. They did amazing job. They were great character, great performance. It's
Yeah. Pretty much.
so sad I see Jamie Lee. Even like
Again, like
Stephanie Hsu.
It's a feel good moment. I mean, sure, but like again, with her long career, and she's never done any like Oscar bait performances or in her career where she's just trying to win an award, like Angela Bassett did there. She's always just done like genre films that Academy doesn't like horror films like Halloween, and she's been in the industry for so long, just doing those films. And then like it's a good moment, but it's like you're awarding her for her career and a good moment, not because of the actual performance. Like that's what they just did there. And that being said, though, while while that's easily the worst, I'm also kind of it's also kind of funny she won, but and I'm kind of relieved at the same time because yeah, I don't know if you watched the clip when she won, but holy fuck, Angela Bassett, yeah,
I've seen it.
she was so salty. She didn't clap. She just sat there looking pissed.
You know, that's the only good moment out of it because she didn't deserve it. I think Angela and Jamie didn't deserve it.
And
Stephanie,
then it made everybody cry online. Oh, of course they gave it to the one old white lady. Fucking racist. They didn't give it to Angela Bassett or Stephanie Shu. Fuck you. Damn,
Stephanie
Twitter just
Issue,
went up in flames.
Stephanie Issue was a good third place just after Young Cho and Carrie Condon, but
Yeah.
Carrie Condon and Ong Cho were just amazing. They were the best
Oh,
part of
yeah.
their movies.
Oh
I
yeah,
hate myself, but
and yeah, but Twitter cried about it and made it about race, and they said that Angela Bassett and Stephanie Shu were were the best contenders, even though they literally weren't either.
So because of that, it's pretty hilarious.
I look at these fives, and I feel like Carrie Condon and Cho are better than Barry, than Brendan and Judd each. Maybe Ki Won Kwan and Brian Thierry. I think Brian Thierry was amazing. I think Key and Brian were the best in that supporting role,
Yeah.
but I feel like
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Key and Brendan for me personally, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, all of them were deserving in my opinion. Besides Judd Hirsch, I don't know why he's here, but anyway, yeah, I do think Key deserved it, but yeah,
I
and
I think they all deserve it, but what I meant by what I was saying is the girls were better than most of them, you know, and they don't get that, and Jamie Lee get that.
yeah, it's insane, but
Yeah.
yeah, and also I will say, it was a we'll get to later, but yeah, it was they had sorry, what's his name again? Sorry, what's his name again? It was yeah Harrison Ford. Yeah, from the Indiana Jones films. Yeah they had him present the Best Picture thing. So yeah, they got a reunion with him and Kiwa Kwan from the first Indiana Jones when he was like 10 in that film. So yeah, that was a feel good moment. But yeah, anyway, lead actress. Yeah, so this is the equivalent of them just being like, yeah, so look, there was a better performance, but she's already won 2 Oscars, so just give it to her instead. This was the equivalent of that.
I think she deserves it. She was good, but I think Andrea and Kate Blanchett are also good picks. But
Yeah, no, Kate, in my opinion, deserved it more. But
yeah,
the problem is she's already won 2 Oscars, and Michelle Yeoh didn't yet, and then she made a whole thing about people of color barely winning any Oscars. So yeah, then she won. So yeah, whatever. That's how it goes, I guess.
thank you. He deserved it. He freaking
Uh,
deserved it.
I was about to fucking throw a chair at my fucking window if he didn't win.
Me too.
If Austin Butler won, I would have jumped out my fucking window and just end my life
Justin
there. Like
Butler
this.
wins.
It would have been so depressing. It was easily the worst performance here. But anyway,
I
yeah,
agree with
thank
you.
God.
I agree
Like,
with
and
you.
there's a lot of performances similar to Brendan Fraser's and in similar films to The Whale where where they aren't deserved and they're completely like Oscar bait and just like, oh, feel sorry for me, please pity me, oh, uh, you know, eh, stories, and then they just win the award in Oscar bait campaigns. right? I'm not denying that. But this isn't one of those cases. This is deserved. Watch the film.
Yeah,
You clearly haven't watched the film if you think that.
I agree.
Yeah, thank God. And then Best Picture, so yeah, and then of all the other awards it won, this was obvious. But yeah.
Triangle of Sadness! Why did you win something? You were the best!
Yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of Triangle Sadness, yeah, I really loved how, there's literally a lead actress in one of your films nominated for Best Picture this year who died, but you didn't have her in the in memoriam section of your award show.
Really?
That was really nice. Also, I really loved how you fucking listen when you have an in memoriam thing. You're not supposed to fucking clap for your favorite dead people. You're not supposed to be like, oh, I recognize him, woo! While it's having a silent in memoriam thing. Fucking idiots. You are so disrespectful, you fucking old bitches. Oh my god. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, didn't win anything, but yeah, Everything Everywhere won. And I would say also if you want to cringe, I would look at the look up the its win and the speeches by the producer and the directors.
Where is it?
Yeah, I don't know. You can look it up after the stream, but
Okay.
yeah, there's something that happened. Um, this is why, yeah, maybe we shouldn't let Best Picture just be a fucking producer award.
Yeah.
The producer went up there, was doing a speech, and he's just like, my buddy taught me the most important thing, and that's profit. I was like, what the fuck? Your film just won Best Picture. Film, paying respect to the art, and you're just like, profit. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Money. It was so cringe. You need to look up. Its Best Picture and went and watch that speech. That was so cringe. The whole place was just silent. Oh my god.
Yeah, the hours, man, that's a big disappointment that Triangle of Sadness didn't get more. They deserved it.
Well, it was only nominated for 3 things though, so it wasn't expected. But yeah, it was out of the Best Picture nominees though. Surprisingly, there were only 5 out of 10 that actually went home with any awards. Everything Everywhere All at Once went home with 7 awards, and it was the first sci-fi film and first comedy type of film to win Best Picture, and it was the first film in ever to win the 7 big awards, with screenplay and acting and everything, and it was the first one to win the Big 5, I believe, since I believe Silence of the Lambs, and yeah, a lot of historical moments. But yeah, I'm out of the best. Yeah, so that won 7 awards, and then All Quiet on the Western Front won around like 4 technical awards, and then Avatar won visual effects, Top Gun won sound, and then Women Talking won adapted screenplay. But Elvis went home with nothing though. Banshees went home with nothing. Fablemans went home with nothing. Triangle of Sadness went home with nothing, and Tar went home with nothing. In fact, if you look at The Whale, which wasn't nominated for Best Picture, it went home with 2 awards, and that's 2 awards: makeup and hairstyling and Best Actor. And note that's more than every Best Picture nominee at the show besides All Quiet and Everything Everywhere. That is crazy to think about.
Yeah. Man, anything else to add? We are like
Nope,
in the
yeah.
outro now.
Nope, that's about it. But yeah, so yeah, it was fun to poke fun at Hollywood stupid ways, and yeah, watch all those films for fun near the end there. So yep, if we continue doing these streams, for years, then yeah, we'll do it next year and the year after, I guess. When the nominees get announced. But yeah, for the next films we're probably gonna watch, there's some films on my list that I held off recommending that I was supposed to, so either I'll do that, or what we're gonna do next is we're going to go through David Fincher's filmography, so yeah, that will be fun.
As long as you're in, man, I'm in. I enjoy a lot these streams. I like having you and DC around. It's amazing. It's very fun. I just like speaking to others about movies and stuff. That's always
Yeah,
amazing.
it literally all just depends on in the future if I ever get a job or
Yeah,
start doing schooling again, or my life changes up where I won't have any time for it anymore, which could very well happen
yeah.
anytime soon. But yeah, until that happens, though, keep doing this, I guess. So
And we can always move it, like or make it
yeah,
shorter and stuff. Uh,
yeah, or if we ever get too busy in our lives,
yeah,
we could do like one every 2 weeks in the future.
yeah. So thank you again for coming here. I'm having a blast each single week, and I cannot wait to roast Gotham Knights with you next week. That will be amazing.
Oh
uh,
right, yes. So yeah, we'll be doing it will be Superman and Lois, Gotham Knights, and then what else?
Legends of Tomorrow for fourth season, season 4. This will be funny to
Right.
roast.
Yes, and then the movies, and then that's it, isn't
Yeah.
it?
3 movies. Maybe try 4, but um, yeah, 3 movies is a guarantee. I can see all 3. You can also add a fourth movie just in case. I will try my
Okay, well,
best to
yeah,
watch all
I'll
4.
okay. I mean, I'll add a. Okay, I mean, if you want to try to watch like 4 movies anytime, then sure, I'll add like a fourth. Anytime I send you the list, I'll add a fourth film and I'll put it in like bracket things like this, basically. I'll
Yeah.
put it in that, and so you'll know it's like the fourth film,
Okay.
basically.
And
And yeah, and that you don't need to watch again. Only 3 week
yeah,
is needed, but if you have time or you want to,
yeah.
or you don't think there's enough like topics for the episode stuff where you want to add 4 films, and yeah, I'll always add that every time just in case, I guess, as a backup.
So, worst case scenario, if I don't get time this week for the fourth movie, that could be a movie for the following week. Um,
Yeah,
that's always the thing we can do. Um,
yeah.
so as usual, man, amazing stream. You can drop in the group chat the list of the movies. I will drop the shows, and yeah, like no Flash next week means a bit more time, I guess, for other stuff. Um, anyway, as usual, that was amazing. Thank you very much. Um, that was fun. For any viewer, like, comment, and subscribe. And Cole, thank you very much. Have a great day and take care of
You too.
yourself.